All right, nerds, we're back again. You already know it's Rod. We got my buddy MJ here with me as always, and we are here for another beautiful episode of the Dama Nerds. It is episode 44. We have a multitude of time zones going on today. It's a whole fucking thing going on in here. So anyways, for me, we got some December 19th, Saturday. It is 2:50 p.m., 13th year of Sander. MJ, what time is it for you over there? What day is it? I'm confused talking to everyone with these time zones.
Always, yes. It's a nutty one today. It's Sunday, 7:50 in the morning. I woke up late. I was all set and ready to wake up early, fucking get prepared for this. And then the wife comes in and is like, yo, you got 10 minutes until your shit starts. Just jumped out of the bed and just prepared for this episode. Luckily, I did a lot of research and homework before because we have a multitude of guests. Everyone, welcome to episode 44. This is the COVID episode. This episode should be the first episode of 2021. It is the start of COVID year 2, guys.
Hey.
Today we have Adrien Esteban, Josh Flo motherfucking Grove, and Theodore Fiorina in the virtual studio today. What is up, everyone?
Yo!
What's up, guys?
Hey, good to have you guys all here. Thanks for taking the time to come chill and talk about some current affairs and all this craziness that's going on.
Yes,
Of
as
course.
well as join in on a Nerds 2 episode for everyone.
Yeah, everybody's second one.
Yeah,
Welcome
this is all
back.
of our second time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
go.
sick.
Yeah, and it's like, like I was saying, we got a multitude of time zones. We got, Josh, where are you at? What time is it for you?
I'm just on Earth, so I'm just here.
Yeah.
I
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No,
Damn it, Grove.
The hippie answer.
I'm sorry. No, Austin and I
No,
just
that's
moved to Portland, actually. So us three
Nice.
are on the West Coast time now, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're in the same time zone. And
Yeah.
then we got, Adrian's the same thing too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So the three of us are in the same West Coast, but then we got fucking Tio over here. What the hell time is it? What day is it for you, bud?
It is Saturday, December 19th in CET time, and it is 11:52 p.m. So I'm like about to bleed over into December 20th here.
The
I'm about to
13th year of Sander.
Yeah, join up NJ.
Yep, exactly.
We're got to be
Well, you
December
guys are
20th
in the
here.
future. You're
So we're
ahead
going to
of
be
us.
having a conversation both on the 19th and the 20th at the same exact
Yeah,
time.
in
Same
3
exact
different
time.
continents.
Yeah.
3 different
You will go
continents.
through both.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
it?
Try to wrap
Is
that
it?
around
Yeah,
the
maybe
mind.
too ambitious to say that this is the most worldwide Dominers yet.
So far,
Eh?
it is. It is
I
correct.
think so, yeah. Yeah,
It
that
is the
makes
most
sense, yeah.
worldwide.
It is.
Someone do the
Let's
math.
go.
How many miles are in between each of us cumulatively? I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Kilometers.
let us know later in the
Yeah,
fucking
Someone
Whoever's
that's
good at
listening.
maths.
Someone listening.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. Well, like we said, we came here and got you all guys into the nerd studio to talk about some current affairs, some
Yes.
COVID business, but I mean, and we're all experiencing this. It's not that you three have any different perspective on anybody else, except for the fact that you guys are some of the only people in this time to have released a pro model,
Mhm.
each of you, which congratulations, everybody.
Straight up. Congrats.
They're all sick and
Yeah,
all the
bedankt.
edits were so good
Yep.
and all that shit. And it's good to see, but it's also interesting to see how it's like a little bit different than it usually would be if we were all in person per se. And like, announcing it, whether it be at NACO or at whatever, or NACO or the NAKO or whatever event that we would do it at, what did you guys think? What was the biggest thing that stood out for you? Or like, were you worried? Like, is there one thing that like, because it was during this time that you thought was like very different from what you expected that this day would look like essentially, or like what it would have been otherwise?
Well,
One-
first,
one
hold on.
biggest-
First, let's say, sorry to cut you off. The order of when everyone's pro mod came out, I think has something a hand to play, as well as, how, because that's like thinking about how heavy COVID was. Like,
Totally.
in Japan, once it started to kind of roll out that it was a thing, which was like, what? When was that?
March.
Like, March-ish?
March,
Yeah,
February,
I guess the
March,
whole
yeah.
world, yeah. March
Yeah.
is when everyone was like, whoa, wait the hell up. This is fucked up.
Yeah.
So I think Adrien, were you the first?
Adrien would have been first. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
when did that happen? Oh, no, Tio? No.
I think Adrien was announced to be pro first, but then I was announced first.
Oh yeah,
as pro.
we had like a weird situation that happened where we flipped basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he knew first, but I was announced first. So let's start with Adrien. He knew first that he was going to be pro. So
Nice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was asked to be pro for Grain Theory October of last year.
Mm.
And then it was like February was like prototyping, getting Dama's like just like the design and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the original release was actually supposed to be Soccer Classic SF.
Nice.
It's like I'm from Santa Cruz. That's like the closest event.
It's the hometown.
Homies coming in from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was like really the biggest thing for me. Just like I just wanted to like share the moment with like the homies more so.
That's definitely become like the thing to do now with the events getting bigger and more people are traveling, and it seems proper because just like you said, right, everyone gets hyped on it, you're watching it together. It's much better than like a YouTube premiere where you're just like all caps like saying like fuck yeah, you know. We're still in high school or some shit.
Yeah, exactly that. It's the same with freaking like skateboarding. Like going pro is like the biggest deal. Like there's a huge party. It's the same for Kendama as it should be. Like it's a big event. Right. So yeah, Adrien was supposed to be announced at Sakura. I was given this information that I was going to be pro in December at Catch and Flow. And Rod might have been there. I'm not sure.
Oh, I was that
hazy moment in my life. And then I also went to prototype and shit in February with Adrien, and then I was supposed to be announced during EKC, so in June of 2020, but I was announced in August, and so were you, Adrien, at the end of the month.
September, beginning of September.
Okay, so you were beginning of September. I was beginning of August.
So pretty only a month apart.
Yeah.
It was beautiful how Jake captured that moment to Tio, because I just rewatched your edit too, and like the beginning of the edit is like you getting asked to be Great Theory Pro, and you're like Rod's like, wait, like did you say yes? Like is this a yes? Like you were just like kind of like wait, like you just like, it took you a second.
It was so funny, man. We were it was like the end of the night. We were like getting ready to fucking like fuck around, go to bed, you know, and like it was all of a sudden it was a classic Wings move.
You see,
he just
Rod
had the camera on, and I kind of like saw the camera on, but I was like, that's whatever. I mean, Jake always has a camera. I didn't think anything of it, and then all of a sudden he's like, "So, Tio," and it's like, "Oh, well, is that a yes bud or what?"
Dude, that's how Jake just does it like that. Like,
yeah, he does.
When he like told me, I was just like, what? Like,
yeah.
Did he have a similar like thing that he pulled on you too, where he did a move?
So this was last October. A good amount of the team at the time, we were just like filming in Santa Cruz, like having like a nice day, just hanging, filming, chilling. And then like at the end of the day, it was like me, the homie Nick, Jake, Sour Mash, Christian, Ben, Jacob, Alex, like all the homies were here. And then we were just like taking a group picture because Jake, you know, has his camera out. Yeah. And then he was like, pro team picture, like Christian, Ben, get over
shit.
Here. And then I'm just like yo-yoing off to the side. We're standing in front of Alex's house in the street. Like it's a nice like golden hour. I thought Jake could just like, lighting's great. Let's take pictures.
Yeah,
like,
now.
Jaking out, like, and
jaking out. No, that's fucking new.
What is it? He's like, "Yo, Adrien, hop in this."
Yeah.
And I'm just standing here. What?
Yeah, what do you mean?
No, that's exactly what I said. Like, Jake is like, "Yo, hop in this picture," and I say back to him, "What do you mean?" Like,
these games, tell me how you feel.
Like, Jake, say the words. Like, I don't get what
Do you like me or not? Yeah.
and then just like, Adrien, would you like to be like pro for grain theory? And again, I'm just like, yeah. And then we took some pictures. It was a good day. The rest, again, hazy moment in that, like, afterward, there's just a bunch of haze.
Nice. That's funny, though. It's funny to hear that. You know, that's the same moves that he pulled for Aventus. Yeah.
I was going to say that.
At Catch and Flow.
That's really cool.
We're on
so
to you,
funny.
Weens.
That's a good one.
It was like the same thing, right? He was like, okay, GT team picture. And he's like, Aventus, get in the picture. And he was just like, but he said GT team only.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, are you going to get in the picture? Do you want to be in the picture?
Some was lost in translation. It took bits for him to understand, but
we had
too funny.
Shout out Nobu Nori, man.
Yeah.
No, Nobu was holding the camera. I had him translating. Yeah, he was in on it. He was like,
nice.
It's amazing.
That's legendary.
Yeah, man.
That's
well,
amazing.
so like you guys both had some Weens shenanigans when you got asked to join the team, but then so Josh, I'm assuming you had something, but maybe not no Weens shenanigans, of course. Maybe some sweet shenanigans.
Dude, I was just gonna say like I think Jake probably has like one of the coolest like just resumes so far of getting a cool like announcement question to like those players. So like everyone that I've heard has just been really cool, like really like amazing. Like, for me, like I got caught like off guard as well because like I've just been grinding along and like I figured it would happen eventually, you know, but like the question had never like come up yet. And you know, funny enough, I don't know if I've talked about this part of the story, but when I got asked to be like on the Sweets team, I had just moved to Minneapolis and like I wasn't even on the Sweets team when I moved to Minneapolis. I moved to like start working school programs, like, you know, like and like start this nonprofit up. And I was taking a shit and Sweets calls me and I'm like, well, I have to answer it. And like
you felt obliged to answer it while you were on the shit.
He just knew.
I wanted to. I was just like, I was like, I'm not going to just call him back. Like, and so I answered the phone and like, he's like, you know, like we're super stoked to have you here. And like a lot of the teams, it's like, yo, it's like, what's the deal with Josh? Like, is he on the team yet? Like, what's going on? Like, he needs to be on the team. And he's like, so do you want to be on the team? And I was like, yes, like I would love to be on the team. And so like, that's how I officially got on the team. And then it was like filming the announcement, edit it, whatnot. Going pro was like, we have a big Sweets team chat and Sweets at one point, I think was just like, I think it was in one of our team meetings, kind of just like talking about rolling out Dama's. Like, it's crazy like how many Dama Sweets rolls out. It's like actually ridiculous. Like the like production like for months ahead, like in line of, like every Friday is gonna have like something coming out. And so he's like, you know, like next on the list, like, you know, like we need to get Grove a pro model. And then like it was just like spoken like that. And it was just like
he's going through his fucking laundry list, grocery list. Hey,
and I'm just like,
trash,
he's like, Grove, it's time. He's like, and then I was just like, wait. Like, is this like legit? Like, he's like, of course it's legit. Like, you're, you know, like, he's like, get designing. And so
he's like, no, I'm fucking trolling you. Go back to Key.
So that it like wasn't like a cool like Jake Weens story, but it was still like a really amazing moment. And I think that happened also in like October or November, because I have my first sketch that I have of my Dama is December 16th. So it could have been like mid-November that I got like asked of 2019. So 2019 of November.
So that time COVID, that was like, I think when the first cases were starting to pop up in China.
Yeah.
Right. And but the rest of the world didn't know about it yet.
I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, cause I traveled to New York in February. I was in New York for almost all of February and got out of New York like February 21st and was one of the only people in the airport wearing a mask.
Whoa.
Cause I was like, I'm taking this like seriously. I had like an N95 on. Like there was like the cruise ship thing on the West Coast that was happening where they were like not allowed to like get off the cruise ship for like
in Japan
a
too.
month.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there was a cruise ship that was just people stranded on that shit.
But yeah, I have my drawing.
Reverse Gilligan's Island type shit.
I gotta turn this back on.
Your background is too powerful.
Yeah.
Too potent.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that was the first, like, that was my sketch, and like, it's pretty darn identical.
Accurate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was just kind of messing around. I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, but that's the announcement story.
You were caught off guard. I remember there was a I don't know what Twitch stream, because you guys do so often, but there was one that was happening, and people in the chat were like, yo, when's Josh getting mod? Grove mod for a while. And Sweets is just like, yeah, what about it? He's like, there's no secret. We want Josh to have a mod too. Okay. Like, but like, just nothing has been talked about before that yet.
There was a long time of like those messages, yeah.
Right. But I'm like, it would have to have already been in the pipeline, because you're saying it was in February, and this was like maybe like a month before the your announcement happened. Yeah,
and my prototyping also like started probably. I think I got my first Dama in like May or April, like end of April, maybe May. And the first, like, I got a box of 6 Damas. And it was actually like the first, like, this was like the colorway that came back the first time. And we ended up, I did like a small change and I got another batch back, but I didn't like what they kind of messed up and like didn't do what I asked. And I was like, I just like the first version actually.
Shit.
I was like, this is taking like a lot longer than like we all wanted it to. And like COVID also, I'm sure we'll talk about this, but that like messed up shipping time estimates. And
that's a whole thing for everyone.
Yeah, even working time, because like for Japan, they started, so like there's a weird thing within the government where they can't just call a full-on lockdown. Like there has to be like a more like a fucking like war, like bombs dropping to them to really like call like lockdown type thing. So all they can do is like recommend and ask, please stay home, please wear a mask. Now the good thing about at least the mask thing is that it's such a normal thing in society here that everyone's on point with that. Yeah. But they started just to decrease, like they said, like just Tokyo areas and the surrounding prefectures, like are now like you should be closing your shops a little early, or have now employees work from home if they can, or just make sure that they're not going to work during rush hours. So, so the trains aren't packed, because if like all you guys riding the trains, I don't know if you've ever caught like a packed train, like rush hour train, where you like you can lift your fucking legs up and you'll still be suspended because of how fucking packed you are on that shit.
Oh yeah.
Actually though,
So then masks, fucking who cares if you got a mask at that time?
I mean, it's like you got bigger issues.
Yeah. So they were like kind of slowly like bringing the volume down of people in the area and commuting and stuff to kind of battle the COVID as it was getting worse and worse. So talking about in China, and as well as creating those Damas, I'm sure that their factory was like, what do we do? Like we have all these projects, all these Damas that we have to make, but I'm sure all the times got pushed back for the creation of those and the delivery.
Yeah, a lot of stuff got on hold for a lot of companies, I think.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Everyone except for you guys, GT, because you guys' stuff is made in America.
Yeah, for some of it, for sure.
For the pro mods, at least, anyway.
Yeah, the China stuff for sure, same as everyone. Like, same boat.
Of course.
Yeah. Even Sue Lab over here, Sue was telling me how the factory that he uses, they were also taking some leave, taking a lot of breaks and stuff. So all production everywhere was running slow. So did that get you guys antsy at all? I guess Josh, it would be mostly for you.
I mean, it was definitely tough not to like, dude. So I mean, I started filming in July, like July 7th, I think, or somewhere around there is when I went on the Sweets Mob trip, which that video is going to be released. Or it'll be released by the time this is out.
Yes.
Go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. But
hell yeah.
Sweets Mob. I hope there's like a soundtrack album that comes with it.
I wish I could say that'd be really cool. That's a great idea. But yeah, so like, you know, like I was filming with Cooper and like David Gravett was there and Boo Johnson's there and Boogie T's there, and my Dama got leaked like a few times.
Oh, no shit.
Like, oh yeah.
On social?
And, like, yeah. And I was just like, man, like that's a bummer. Cause like my Dama we were supposed to drop my Dama in a KO and it got dropped in November.
Yep.
Like a month later because of production. But
Yeah.
it actually helped because I needed all that time to film too. I literally filmed from July until like mid-October. George edited for 2 weeks, like, and then we dropped it like the first week of November. But I definitely was antsy. I wanted to like play my Dama, you know, like film tricks with it. So it definitely felt really like relieving to like be able to like do that. I think it was like a whirlwind check Wednesday. We did a whirlwind check with my Dama. I popped my head out of my little tiny home sheep wagon.
Yeah, I remember that one. It was like so quick. I think I saw a couple of those leaks, and I just, as soon as I saw like mountains and trees on a purple, like all that shit, I was like, that there's no way that's not a fucking Josh thing.
I know. And
like,
everyone's like, dude, like DMing me. It's like, what is this? What is this? It's just like cold. Like I just did no answers.
Yeah. But again, with all the production, all the new Damas that Sweets produces, you could totally have been like, oh, it's a new V, whatever you're at like now.
It's a V99, dude.
Yeah.
V99.
Right. It's another one of those shoe ones or whatever.
That's just a shoe.
Yeah, we do mountain ranges this time. It's the Appalachians. It's the Rockies. Here's the Rockies.
Yeah, dude, it's the mountain series.
Nature.
Yeah, the Alps.
Yeah.
Watch, mountain series is gonna come out now.
Yeah, dude. No, come on. You got to go through all the elements. Yeah, there's rock. You get fire, wind, water.
Volcano Dama.
That's me though. I'm curious about you guys, like Adrien and Tio though.
Yeah.
Especially like Adrien, you had like your shape, you know, I know there's been a similar shape, but like in like the new age of Kendama, like there hasn't, you know.
Oh yeah.
Totally, yeah. There's some like very real innovations with that like haven't really even though there is things that are similar, I suppose, but yeah.
Definitely for just like the initial prototyping, like that February venture me and Tio had, the in the shop prototyping was about a weekend.
Like, what?
But like 4 days. Actually, yeah. But also like it was like time was like kind of split because we were like there was a lot going on.
Yeah, GT2 as well.
Oh, that was happening at that same time.
There's a lot going on.
Sweet. Like, so did you already have that in mind? Like you saw the GT2 and you're like, okay, well, using that and then just fucking take a knife and cut in here.
Oh no!
I want my strings to go here and here.
Okay, so with my mod actually, so as soon as like Jake asked me that day, like we all went to like a local brewery. Everyone's all hanging, chilling. I have a notebook and I'm already starting like write down like things I want. And the first thing was like. I want to groove on the bass cup. I want to groove on the spike, and I want grooves on the Serato. Like,
yeah.
That was like that was kind of all I had though, leading up to like the prototyping because I was just playing a bunch of Damas at the time. So there's like a lot of other GTs became like parts and bits became this Dama. I was playing the Stod a lot at the time. And wait a second.
Must find Dama.
Yeah. Good thing I'm in my living room where I keep all my Damas. I started to like venture into like the tap jug, insta Ken flip. Because there's like a genre of Dama I know I was kind of like I wanted to level up in. And playing God made me start like Ken flipping, jugs, all this all this stuff. Sense. And so my mod's kind of just like a big edgier Stod.
Oh, okay. Now this is the production mod, right? Of Stods.
Yeah, the V2.
Yeah, the V2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very new gen stuff. And initially I kind of wanted like on Jake's executive mod, how he has this like concave like shoulder edges that really hug birds and like stalls really well.
Right.
I was really wanting it, but Jake was also kind of like, I want that on my mod. Like that's what makes my mod. Like, and then because from me playing it, it helped me get into all these different string loops. Like it helped cut into the string and stay there a lot easier. And then while we were like just like workshopping, like finally like starting to get the CAD down for my shape.
Yeah.
Jake was like, let's try this like hard serrato edge.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's like, it was like one of the things where it's on the first prototype and we kept it the whole way because I loved it instantly.
Yeah.
It helped with all my string tricks super well because like there's like issues of like the loop coming out of the serrato. It stays
like coming up over the big cup kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if it ever comes off the groove, this is an extra stopper, and it's something me do a bit more ballsy, like string catches and maneuvers. Like I'm just like, no, it's gonna catch.
Hell yeah.
Often. This whole Dama, I was like just kind of anxious about designing it because I knew it was gonna be so like different to other Damas around.
Yeah.
And honestly, even though I was like, I know I'm gonna like it, what was going through my head a lot was, what if people hate it because it just looks weird? Or like, I'm being all anxious about it because I'm like, what if it's too different that people don't want to try it?
Right.
So did that like carry over because like when you released it, like I'm assuming you had that like those thoughts until the release date kind of thing.
No,
right?
yeah,
because you don't really know until everybody has their hands
on it. I had
on
enough time from like the prototyping to like the actual release that like there was enough like time for doubts to set in, like because when it was like the February and then gonna drop in Sakura, I was like, dope, in 2 months this is gonna be kind of cool, chilling. And then also like what Josh said about kind of just being antsy to play my like Dama, I was like, I started to just like shelve all the protos I had to like just not play them. Like
so you don't have to see them even. Yeah.
I basically didn't play my mod. I'd use the scheme tricks that was like posting on Instagram or whatever, but then having to film on whatever was out at the time.
Yeah.
And then I started to like really search my mod when we were filming for the edit, which was we started filming for my edit in August. And it was just kind of 5 days with Aldrin, and then we just busted out the filming in Santa Cruz, and then the edit.
Yeah. To go back to the shape of your mod, it's very specific to your style of tricks. Now there is a lot of people who can't comprehend or can't get those tricks down. Maybe that's why you jumped on in the Sweet Studio to help everyone kind of understand, or if that was even before.
Yeah, I know that was definitely like I really wanted to do that because like I definitely don't want my tricks to just be like, oh damn, that's like some crazy string stuff.
Yeah. David Copperfield. In his finish, like, oh, I don't know how he fucking does it. It's magic.
Yeah. And it's every time I get to like around and messaging people, like when they do ask about like tricks or like just like ideas or like where do they get started, I'm always just saying like, yo, like I was where you were at. Like it just took time to figure out how to like combine all the different things into like something new and like novel, but it was just a bunch of old ideas like melded into one thing.
Yeah. So were you looking at the mod as a place for people to expand their string game, or did you kind of have a little doubt of where like only people who want to mess with string tricks will get this, and like if you don't care, if you're a new gen like tap and instant guy, juggle kid, then you're like, I don't care for these grooves.
And that's why other than all the string stuff, like I'm like, obviously with this like Dama was like, yo, it's gonna shred, like it's gonna rip, and it's like the counter out, kind of basically the counter of all the naysayers. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be ripping tricks you never see me do because like I could like it helps so much for me to like level up. Like definitely like any of like even just adding more juggles or throw airplanes and like taps to like parts of my tricks, or like this helped me like understand how to like just like slowly work up and like try to get all these like other like tech elements that like were just kind of harder for me to grasp with what I had.
Yeah.
And like, what other than like these shoulders being super good for like grabbing the string, it's insane for stalls. Like, if you saw the edit, I did scooping axe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's because this Dama will like grab on all these edges and like can help you like pick help you
slurper on there.
Hard angles.
Yeah, I remember Yumu dropped a Dama that was like that. They're super horror shape. Had that hook to it, and I was like, wow, like it feels like there's, I don't know, like it's hooked on.
And it's even like like wings and stuff. Like I'd like have protos for whenever I did, like if I like was around people, I'd be like, yo, just let me know what you think about it. Like, and I had a homie that just did wing for the first time, like ever, like just like pulling straight up to it and seeing it slap, and just like the combined stoked on her face is like, you did that. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, you did that in my mod. Like, that's kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's like, it definitely helped just seeing other people like play and being like, okay, no, I'm just in my head about like, I really just have been like playing it so much that like I'm overthinking about it.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing too.
Yeah. What was your thing, Josh? How'd you feel?
I resonate with that whole, like, you know, you play it so much that like you might have some like self-doubt. Like I had just like, you know, it's like, is this too much going on in the Tama? Like, is it too like, you know, just like, different, like, you know, but like, you know, in the end, you know, like of all those thoughts, this like represented something to me. And like, I love all these colors, and with all of the craziness going on, you know, there's like 13 different colors or Pantones or whatever going on. Like the white bevel for me, like made everything.
Yeah,
you know,
it is painted, right? I don't think that was that really specified? I only just saw it in the pictures and other people's posts where it like really stood out. I was like, whoa, it's painted.
Yeah, I mean, the painted bevel was huge for me, and that's also like, it represents like the reflection of the moon in the sky, like in the water, you know, and like, so you have white in the bottom, middle, and the top. So like, if the Tama's not flipping crazy fast, like it doesn't just blur, like you can like see and track like really well. But I got one picture back from China, like right before big production, before like, you know, the order like went through, that had no paint on the bevel, and I like freaked out.
Whoa.
I was like, dude, if there's no paint on the bevel, like I'm gonna be so salty.
I'm out.
Like I was just gonna be really sad, you know. I was just like, dude, that's like, that helps so much with the tracking, dude. Like,
yeah. That was definitely an important part that you thought about and you needed to be in there.
But yeah, you know, and it's just like the kind of like, what is everyone gonna think? And in the end, I was just, you know, real like reflecting back of, it doesn't matter, you know, like I'm just so grateful and like honored to like have had this opportunity. And like, if anyone loves it, like even if one person loved it, I'd be stoked. And kind of like you saw your friend like hit that first wing, you know, like I've seen people hit their first world level ups for them, like on this Dom. Just a feeling that I couldn't have like imagined of feeling. So it's really cool. It's really cool.
Hell yeah. Tio's sitting over here going,
Tio's
like,
turn,
I don't know what
dude.
you guys are talking about. I fucking go into fire, Dama. What do you guys
I'm hanging out here. I'm thinking about Adrien. I'm thinking about those days back at that shop where his Dama was so complicated that for like maybe 2 whole days they didn't even get to my Kendama. They're like, oh man.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that like, we weren't even done prototyping with my, there was like issues we had to deal with after the trip with my Dama, just because like the design was so crazy.
Yeah,
so that's also why my thing got pushed. Like,
like so
having
far.
the grooves here, like Damas don't want to have grooves here in the middle. Like,
yeah.
Did you have Seratos like break? Like, were they going through too far? Were they like breaking or?
Dude, I was they're like just random all over my house now, but like, I have like Seratos that were like, okay, here's a good one. This is a remnants of one of my first protos that I chopped into a mini. Oh yeah, check out that base cup.
Whoa, that's straight up like a Duncan style when they made
it's actually funny.
That, like,
I knew that Dama existed.
Yeah,
but I hadn't seen it in years when we designed like the first CAD. And when this popped out of the lathe, I'm just laughing so hard because we just made a GT Duncan groove. It was like that was Proto 1, basically.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
And meanwhile,
anyways-
Tio is sitting there waiting to try and fucking hop in there and
No.
make his Dama.
Yeah, no, I had the chance actually. I first teed my Serato. Like,
Oh,
You know,
First
your
try.
photos,
You just knew?
all of them were honed. Like I remember
Like-
that. Like every single proto
Yeah.
that popped out was so good.
Yeah.
yeah, so I didn't have much to worry about. But actually, for 2 days, I did the finishing touches for the GT2.
oh, nice.
So,
Oh wow.
like, I was just playing that for 2 whole days. Like 2 whole days, I was pretty much just retouching what Damon had done and what they had like changed, and I was just like tweaking that slowly. And
Yeah, you were the
Mm.
play tester for like the 2 real like because
yeah, because they were all focused on other shit. So I was just like, all right, like I have to. Yo, Grove has it too. That's true.
Yeah, you did.
This is the one. This is the only like I would love your guys' mods, and I hope to be able to snag them someday. So
Yeah, you will be, bud.
No,
I got
dude,
this though, and I was super hyped.
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the GT team's baby, and then I was like the last man to touch her. You know, like.
What adjustments did you make? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I raised it by 0.5 to the 16.5, and then compared to the TC, I like lowered the ring stall and reduced the size of the base cup like rim,
Interesting.
and that's about it. And then all the rest, Damon had like, you know, like laced first
Nice.
piece. You know,
So
like it was sick.
This rim was a little thicker.
Yeah, and that
base
ring
cup.
was a little
Like,
higher.
too.
On a shorter Ken,
Oh.
on a 16 centimeter Ken. So
That would've
all
been-
of that was.
Thick. That would have been wide.
It is thick. It is thick. It's the GTTC shape, so it's sick. It's
First TC proto. You could see.
yeah. There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you guys are,
Whoa, that's like 2 fingers.
it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you guys are all listening to this, you have to buy the Patreon because we're showing Kendamas. Like
For real,
Yeah,
dude.
This is a visual episode.
it is. It is. So
Visual episode.
yeah, that's what I changed on the 2, and then after that, I had 2 whole days with my mod and just like bulldozed through it. Like
Dude,
it didn't take me long. I just fucking like.
no, and TR, I just gotta say, like, shout out GT, but your mod is so beautiful. Like how it plays, the aesthetics, like I love it so much.
It was it's dude, I'm so stoked on it.
Okay, so
freaking sick.
since Adrien, you were like kind of focused on or in the shop to get your pro mod set and done first. Tio, did you see his Tama and be like, all right, I'm gonna one up and add an extra couple lines on that Tama?
Yo, there's a sick story about this. We walk into the fucking like shop, and we had actually an original idea that was also sort of the same.
Yeah.
That was not the stripes. We wanted to both of us wanted to do free intersecting lines like a bocce Tama.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
3 lines that intersect in the middle, but it just wasn't possible with the materials they had there.
Mm.
And so I'm not at home, so I don't have my prototype. So I had the double sawn lines, 2 sawn lines, but they were more spread out. So it looked more like a Craft Plus, which was not chill. So I like squished them together a little bit, and it looked sick. And then Adrien, I don't quite remember.
Mine was like initially I wanted like the 5, like the same thing, like the bocce, like cross lines, and again like wouldn't work. And it's actually funny. I think something like this happened at the shop. We realized we couldn't do the tracking we wanted, and then we started calling the numbers, and then like Tio called the six stripe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you wanted the 6.
Like it just worked out because my string pack first dropped, and like Ken Lab made it. It only had 5 colors, so I was like, it works. Let's roll it.
Yeah. There's a connection there.
Yeah.
And his are all equidistant.
Yeah. Mine was just like a sawn,
yes,
but thick, and then added line. It also helps me catch the string a bit easier when I do like those like Tama whips.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's sick. I think it's sick that we have similar tracking because, you know, there's that duality, and that's not too obvious because we were both releasing our mods at different times, but we were there together. So it's the same as Christian and Ben. They had a video together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's
That's
that
true,
duality.
And also a fun fact while we're just like talking about our mods, like separately while we were making our CADs, we ended up individually deciding that our cups became the same like dimensions, like completely separate. They were just like at the end. We were like, yo, same size.
Yeah,
That's pretty
so
sick.
yeah, so they're you know, like they're bro mods. They're
Bro
not
mods.
like completely independent, you know, they're somewhat like linked. So that's what's sick.
It's interesting too, looking at like GT, like we got the 2 bro mods over here, but versus like Josh and like the Sweets team's kind of style of pro mods. Whereas like they all have like kind of the boost shape, which is like just one general shape, but they have individualized kind of like way more like flair kind of added to it kind of thing, where your guys is each just designing your own shape, but they're much more plain looking to like, you know, if you weren't looking at a shape kind of thing, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Would you guys if you had the opportunity, would you prefer to have a Tama kind of thing?
Oh,
like are more like customizations, more like you know, like engravings in the cups or something.
It would be
like
basically just like I'd want to get the Tama I wanted. That'd be the big like. I think when I went with my Ken, the reason there's no branding apparent on it is because like for me, I thought the shape spoke for itself.
Totally.
And then we're like, I just want it on the Tama. I just want the cool lines, and I'm happy, 100%.
You know, Ben and Christian got like many Tamas along the years, so
that's
for
true.
sure.
Yeah, it'll come along.
So what's gonna
Yes. I personally love, and Jake really like put this forward, I love the like archaic method of design. Like you're stuck with this very like primitive sort of tracking like limitations, and so you like figure out what you want from what's available. So that was sick. Like that was insanely sick. It's just
like a cool like creative process, putting like something on yourself to like, so like like limiting yourself to just like fit within this box. You have to be way more creative than if you could just do anything.
Yeah, it's just a lathe with some tape on it, a Tama like stuck onto it, and some copper wire, you know.
Copper wire. Pretty much, I've always done it with guitar strings.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's what it was. Actually.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Between the 2 Tamas.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have a Tama on either end, right? Yes. You can, like,
that's what it was.
Grip it and like push really hard.
The guy who kind of said "fuck you" to all of that is sort of Ben, because Ben was like the dude who like was like, no, I want dots, and so they had to like cater like a bunch of shit. They were like they had to make like a special piece, and it ended up being so much like
longer.
Yeah, but in the end, the dude who makes these was like, I fucking love doing it.
Yeah,
like, this is the sickest.
There's a change of pace for him too. Yeah,
that pushes innovation too, though, right? Like
100%.
What can be done, what can't. Yeah, but he must have been like, fuck.
It's like what they have rigged up just to burn the dots, like to do it consistently. Like
I can imagine what it would look like, but yeah, I would like to see it. But that's like, you can say that about your mod too, Josh, is that you're pushing it too, because like nobody's really done the whole bamboo core within a maple Tama before. That's like so low key and like really cool.
The hidden secret, like you don't know about until you watch that video. George got that nasty ass like demonstration of the rotation Tama.
Yeah,
so sick.
I brought that idea up to him because like that wasn't in the edit originally. I was like, yo, we need to like explain this because no one is even gonna know, and this is a big part of like. It's like this is a big part of like selling the Dama too. Like,
the difference.
For me, it's like I've always loved playing with bamboo, and I guess like first before I talk about that, like in regards to the whole like simplicity of GT, like this like beauty of like the like archaic as you're using that word, and like primitive like options. Like I like love that. I love simplicity. I think like simple is like beautiful, and like. The fact that like all the pros like got to like create their own Ken shape is sick as fuck. Like, you know, like they have this like opportunity that no other pros really have had the opportunity to do. So that like makes GT unique as well. You know, like I've always like loved grain theory. Like I've always like vibed with all of like the GT family, and like, you know, it's just been really cool to see it grow and like evolve. And like, it would be really cool to, you know, adjust some things. I would definitely like adjust a couple of things like on the boost shape if I like was going to change the Ken. And that's something that like, you know, funny enough, like when I was given the opportunity to design a Dama, like I didn't even like, for some reason, like I didn't even like think about like changing the shape. Cause like this shape, like for me, like I've played it for a while now. So like I'm used to the shape. I would like adjust a few things to like cater it to like what I would want a little better. But for me, it was like, I want bamboo. And now getting into like the bamboo cord Tama, it's like, I want a bamboo Tama too, but like every bamboo Tama that I've played, like if I just pick a random one out of a box, like the weight consistency is all over the place. Like
it always is.
It can be horrible, man. Like,
and how much glue is like seeped into the wood.
Yeah. Or like how it's either like, honestly, like I had never really seen a bamboo Tama over like 78 or 9. Like I'd never seen like an 80 gram, you know, bamboo Tama. And I wanted to have a more consistent, like middle 70s Tama and like middle 70s Ken. Like my goal is to have like on an average, like mid 70s Tama and mid 70s Ken, because that's like my preferred weight.
Nice. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, what if we like have a cord Tama that has the bamboo so you can still have the spike as well as the stall points. And then you just like wrap it in maple to like bring a little bit more weight to the situation. And it worked really well. We've had a couple where like the core, like if you, like we've had a couple that have like failed where like the glue has like slipped. And you can like see I don't have it on me. I actually threw it up into a power line and it's sitting on a power line kind of by my grandma's house now. I just
Intentionally or
intentionally. Yeah. Like it took me a couple tries actually.
Damn it, stay up there.
I was just like, you always see shoes on a power line. I was like, man, I want a Dama up there. Like,
dude, yeah, I've always thought that was kind of interesting. Now, I'm not telling all y'all to go fucking throw me
either. I don't. That was in front of my own like property. All right.
Yeah. I remember in Tokyo the one time we were playing on the bridge and Chris Bosch fucking, what did he broke his can or fucking chipped the shit out of it or something? I can't remember. Anyway, he kind of like, he didn't throw it off the bridge, but he hung it on like the side of the bridge. So like when you're walking by this busy bridge in Tokyo, there's just a Dama hanging. And it's just kind of a cool little, I don't know. I always liked it.
Now, did this idea come after Ionetter got arrested?
Oh God!
for putting in Damas and strings. Well,
that was unintentional. He didn't want it to get stuck.
No, and that was a really messed up situation.
Yeah.
So, but you know, this was literally like this Dama had hit the ground like a lot, and like this was one of my first proto Tamas from like May when I got him, and I actually filmed my edit with the like 2 or 3 remaining freshies that I had from that box of 6 because shipments were so messed up that I didn't get any more freshies. And if I would have waited to get freshies, I wouldn't have got them until the beginning of like October.
Wow.
So like I would have had, or like, you know, mid-October, like the first week in October. So
yeah, had a lot of lost time.
I was like, I just want more time to like be like a little bit more free in this filming process. But the core is like, I love the core. I think it's great. It keeps like a more consistent weight. Like there are the outliers, and that's kind of how it goes when you get big production amounts in China in general. It's like it's kind of like with drumsticks too. Like you have all types of weight variant, you know, from what you're going to get. You'd see that in any product really that comes from China. So
yeah,
when you're
just wood in general, honestly,
the material.
Like, wood fluctuates.
Yeah. And that's also things like I wanted bamboo because it's not wood. It's, you know, grass. It like almost goes full grown in like 18 to like 21 or something months, and you can harvest it and use it. And, you know, a tree takes, you know, 10 to 20 to 30 plus 40 years, like depending on the size that they're and like the type of tree that they're using. You know,
shit.
And
so you tell me you're thinking environmental about this?
There's like such a big environmental like impact that we have in general with our packaging. Another reason I love GT is because you guys use bags. You know, like that's huge. And like I hope that like Sweets can like evolve in some way. It's tough, especially when the system is so frustrating in so many ways. Not just like how Sweets is doing things or how any other company is doing things. It's just like the eye of the customer and what like the capitalistic system is built upon of like the fruit need to be like nice and pretty and like all of like the gross veggies get thrown in the dumpster, and there's all this like foraging that goes on for like saving these like totally fine like products that, like veggies that get thrown away, and same thing with like, you know, you want your product to look clean, and like what looks clean other than like a nice like transparent clear box of plastic wrapped in like colors, you know, like that is just what it is. And like, so
especially when you're putting it in the stores.
Yeah, because you can like, see it without handling it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the
100%,
dude, anything in a bag, you have to open it up and pull it out of the bag and then handle it, right?
And so it's like, I mean, Sweets wouldn't be in Target without their like their, you know, box and like their whole like production thing. Like that is a part of the package.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wanted bamboo because that was like, I love bamboo and how it plays, but B, it's also a grass, you know?
Mm-hmm. So just a win-win.
So to go back to it, the problem that was happening was was the core like coming out of the maple?
Yeah, it was just like displacing a little bit. Like I had one dude that sent me an email. He's like, yo, like, you know, this happened on this Dama, and I like put him into customer service, and like he's getting taken care of. Like it's been like there's been 2 people that's happened to out of the like like 1,000 of my Damas got sold, and that was like blew my mind. It just blew my mind.
Dude, congrats on that.
Yeah, no, yeah, dude. The community has been rooting for you like for such a long fucking time since you kind of you didn't wither away, but you know, Bonsai Kendama withered away, and they were like, what about Josh? So everyone, that's why, you know, I'm sure you felt it too. Everyone's so fucking stoked when you got announced to be on the Sweets team.
Yeah, it's an honor, dude. It's kind of like it's a very like humbling thing too. Like it's overwhelming in a lot of ways, but you know, and like if that Tama issue like happens, you know, that's kind of like an obvious like product malfunction that is an easy like replacement. A lot of times like Sweets gets customer service messages with like the paint has like chipped or like, you know, something really small where it's like like
the string broke.
What draws that line?
I gotta buy a new one.
So it's like when the wood is like splitting like that, then obviously you know, we're going to hook you up and like get you another product. But I feel very blessed and honored to be with Sweets and like working with Sweets and playing for Sweets because like, you know, Sweets is like, you know, what do you want? Like, you know, basically like the paint is at this point and like what they can do is like, and the wood splicing, they do this whole splice series and, you know, it's insane to kind of like,
so your Tama is, I know Sweets does a lot of in-house painting and shit. Is that painted in-house or is that painted in China?
This is painted in China.
Okay. But the Kush ones, it's all cushed, of course.
So they come like primed without a clear coat.
Yeah.
Ready to get
I was going to say, I was like, damn, that's a lot of Tamas for them to paint that intricately if they're doing it. That's kind of insane. It's even insane for China to do it, really.
If you guys didn't know, like before they did that, they would just get, you know, the regular stickies and then like Joe and Sam and the warehouse dudes would have to like sand off the sticky clear
without the undercoat,
without taking off the paint, you know, like that's a terrifying task.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. That would fucking, I wouldn't want to do that.
So
luckily used to do that.
Yeah.
A homie used to do that in Europe. His name is Marcel. MC2 Clear was like back in the day, like if
and he like used his own clear coat, right?
Yeah, and his clear coat was fucking phenomenal.
I remember that vaguely.
That's epic.
It may be to this day my favorite. Like it was underground.
Yeah,
dude. The only problem that guy had was that his clear coat was he had to buy like disposable products to apply it every time. So he didn't. It was a very bad like.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like idea, but basically, what he did was he would get people like to get their Tamas over. A lot of them sometimes had like clear, like already coats on them of paint. Like they already had sticky clear. Or once I heard a dude like had him like MC2 clear, like a Kush clear Kendama or something.
Oh, what?
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a savage move.
That is fucking, it's like so that Dama, dude. So that Dama came most likely at that time came from China to the Sweets shop where they sanded the fucking clear coat off, put a Kush clear over it. Then whoever bought it took it to Europe, gave it to this dude who fucking sanded the Kush clear off to put his fucking clear on it. Jesus Christ,
insane.
That's insane. Yeah, the carbon footprint.
Yeah,
pretty heavy.
That's,
so basically
that's a hefty Dama.
Yeah. Nice. So guys, we're all talking about the mods, getting deep into it. Heard a lot of good points, a lot of struggles that happened within the production, or just creation of it, the whole process. Yeah. If you could take one thing out of each other's mods and put it on yours, what would it be?
It's a fun question.
Oh, dude, I already know.
All right, Adrien, you did the buzzer first.
I'd take T.O. slip ring because this just feels good. This sharp, defined slip ring is so good on a Dama, just for like the in-hand feel.
Mm.
And dude, the bamboo core, just like that whole the way it works, even when it flips, man, it feels like it's flipping way more predictably whenever I've tried it. I'm about those the subtle inlays that they do the tech. It's not just aesthetic, but they really do some stuff.
Totally.
And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Nice.
I love that.
It's some good ones.
I'd grab that Kush Clear.
I was kind of figuring that might be. Yeah, that's what I would say.
And then the mass produced aspect. Just my shape, just so I could get my shape out to more people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's it.
I wish I could do that for you. It's not mine.
It's kind of interesting though, because it's like a double-edged sword. Because it's on one hand you're getting it out to more people and shit, but it wouldn't be the same thing that it is if it was mass-produced, right?
And it's for some of it. It's sometimes I see polls on what's the best shape out there, and I'm like, mine or Adrian's won't even appear on that because not enough people have tried it.
And that's a small fraction. Yeah.
How many were made? How many pro mods get made? I'm sure the numbers maybe vary, but
yeah, it depends. I think it's from 75 to 200, something like that. Depends on the batches. Yeah. Honestly, even we sometimes don't know or we don't care either. We're just
it's
get as many as them out.
We're just for the people. I'll take whatever I'll get, but as long as people get their Damas, I care more about that.
But yeah, that's another feature of COVID. Yeah, because not as many people got to try our Kendamas.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
And same for you, Josh. Even if they're mass produced, not as many people logistically got to try your Kendama because they weren't at events, they weren't seeing each other, blah blah blah. So
totally,
yeah. So this discussion about who has the best shape, all the 2020 shapes haven't really been tested enough.
Yeah. I guess can you really have an answer if you haven't tried all of them, right?
All you could say is 2020 shapes are super honed.
Yeah, they are. And absolutely.
Everyone had the time to sit down and perfect them.
Kendama was the best thing about 2020 that happened in the world.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you guys think that COVID impacted sales wise in a positive way or in a negative way?
Well, I first would love Adrian's little wing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you didn't get your answer in yet.
No, that's fine. That's probably my favorite thing. And that just kind of
hook. Yeah.
And it's not even the wing hook. I feel like that would how does that feel for slingers? Does that make it
dude, I loved doing slingers, but with all the GT shapes at least we currently had, none of them clicked for me. I'd be hucking inward slings for days on.
Yeah, and I feel like it would maybe stay. It helps your fingers stay in there a little bit.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. That hook is a wall to keep your finger in.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's something that I don't even know if I noticed until this Zoom call. This, because that little edge is that's this is evidence of just the similarities of skateboarding evolution and Kendama evolution, of just seeing the concave get put into the skateboard for the first time.
Yeah, seeing how the cup edges have over time have started to get flatter and more defined. Before it was really round and very just subtle arcs making the lines. That's hard defined.
Very much. That was my thing that came up to my mind. But in terms of sales, I feel in my own opinion, I think sales have gone up because of quarantine. And people are oh, I have time to try this now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Just recently, Sweets was featured in some news article. I'm sure people on social saw it. Yeah.
That's been amazing. That's been really increasing my workload with Kendama Institute, because basically they send over like anything that goes around with like programming, like they just send to Kendama Institute. They like say, go talk to Josh, like over Kendama Institute, and like I take care of all the programming. So I'm really blessed to like have that like relationship with Sweets because, they just got a lot of attention in Minnesota, and like we have a program that's getting set up with 2 schools for their PE programs. We have another like program that's getting set up for a 3rd grade class. There's a drug rehabilitation and like physical rehabilitation like house that is having us do an event, and hopefully like we can get an opportunity to come and like do some like test programming with them. So there's a lot of opportunities like popping up, like when stuff like that pops up in the media. They got featured on like a mini St. Paul like morning show thing of last minute gifts. So it's pretty wild. A lot of people are kind of getting their eyes on it for the first time. If not the first time, they're like finally being like, oh, like I've seen that now. Like, so I really think we're kind of we're getting closer and closer to that day when we can say that Kendama is like a known thing around the world. It's like people like how skateboarding kind of eventually, like, I don't know if anyone knows when that was, what was the year where skateboarding was like, everyone knows what a skateboard is now.
I feel like it's a hard thing to put like a single date on.
Yeah, it happened over time, but definitely like before our time, like it have to have been, I'm guessing 70s.
No, because
like late 70s.
There was a big lull.
I think it was like the 90s or like.
There was a big lull until Tony Hawk came. So there was so skateboarding entered. It's our world, but
right, exactly. Because there's a subgenre that we all know about. Like if we're talking about music or this extreme sport of skateboarding, I jumped on it because I saw these kids who were like, I don't know, like 6 years older than me across my street riding these skateboards before the concave, before the nose appeared. And so I was like, so I knew what it was from there, So that's what I'm thinking. But you're right, Tio. It's definitely fucking video games.
Yeah, there's no. I'm even talking about like it entered popular culture, like what you're saying, the board with like the wheels, and then Tony Hawk came and like fucking like pushed it onto there, like just globbed on. Yeah, but you're right. Just logistically, you're a bit older than me, so
because seriously, there's plenty of times,
wisdom.
When I look out, like now, I look back at my hometown in the States, and I see like how many like fucking skate parks there are, and I'm like talking to my friends. I'm like, yo, like we were such like the rats in high school that were skaters, and we were always getting in trouble with the cops, getting kicked out of places because we had no place to skate. And now it's like like parents are there with their kids, and that's a different problem. They're all their little kids fucking rolling around and shit, and it's fucking intense. So whenever, like Josh was saying, when is that going to come around for Kendama, where it's been happening? We're witnessing it.
Well, maybe that's something that, there's with any fucking cloud, there's always a silver lining. So within that fucking COVID cloud, maybe the silver lining will be that because of the quarantine and shit, more people have time and are exposed to something like this where they can
I really think
into the Dama a little bit. I feel like that could be a very real possibility.
Dude, who knows? Like next, like NACO or something that's going to be like way packed. Like the amount of attendees is going to be crazy because it's like, look at all these new shredders that have been born because of quarantine.
Yeah, like just any event in general, people are going to be like, let's party, dude.
I was going to say, man, the first event back is actually like I've been saying this to a few people, like we need to get a fucking farm away from people because we're going to go fucking ape shit all over.
Needs to be like a Burning Man.
Like a Kendama fucking Burning Man or something. Yeah, who knows, man. Something like that. Because if we do it like we already get kicked out of hotels and shit. on a normal basis.
We got to hit up Albert, guys. Super Stoker.
Yeah, tell us more about Super Stoker for those who haven't heard about
it. I've never been, but so it's basically a 1-week event out in Finland, and there's no comp, there's no schedule, there's no nothing. It's just everyone gets together, like they buy a bunch of food, like there's a huge jar of the devil's lettuce, as MJ would say. And
A few jazz and cigarettes getting passed around.
Maybe.
Maybe, you know, like maybe they finished the jar by the end. Like they definitely finished the jar.
Maybe there's 2 jars.
Yeah. So, you know, and then yeah, it's basically a bunch of homies go up there, jam Dama, walk around nature and hang out. And there's like jam sessions in the evening with like music and like a kendama, like, I don't know, like demo or like jamboree, you know, anything you would call.
That sounds incredible.
Like they hang out like in a gymnasium and like they do
That's
trick
sick.
shots and like freaking like, that's all I saw. And then in the evening there's the Solid Sweat Squad, which is like the cooks. It's like Irk, Ole and Tim, and they cook
what a crew.
Yeah, what a crew indeed.
Yeah, I got to be a guest for the Solid Sweat Squad on
Nice.
At the Dao shop opening. We cooked the giant curry for everyone.
Oh man, that sounds glorious.
Good.
Yeah, it was so big, and Irk is a chef, so you know it was freaking delicious, so good.
Damn.
Man.
So yeah,
I love
that's the Euro events. Euro events is just a
Yeah,
bunch
man.
of dudes
And
hanging out and cooking.
so you guys have still had some events throughout this year with all the COVID shit and stuff. I remember a few times just like looking at fucking instant shit and be like, what the fuck, Tio's at an event? And I'm just fucking sitting, what the fuck?
I've been to 3 COVID events. I've been to it was called the Roasty Kendama Cup in Switzerland, out in the mountains there. I went to the Dao shop opening and to KenFest in Hanover. So that was all within a month at the end of summer, basically.
Okay.
And
Yeah, so it's
traveling was fine for you guys?
yeah, traveling was fine. I only took trains, pretty much. I took 1 plane, I think. So
Yeah.
it was all
And
trains.
were there like any restrictions as to like attendance, like
Yeah, of course.
things like that?
There were restrictions.
Because I went to one COVID event in Calgary. I went to the Brew Battle.
Mm.
Oh,
here in
nothing
Canada.
like that though.
And yeah, we all had to wear masks inside the entire time, and it was like capacity was like definitely limited.
Mhm.
Ours were all outdoors,
Okay.
pretty much. And also Irk like found his way around that, and he rented like a Boy Scouts cabin. Yeah, it was hilarious, bro.
That
Like,
sounds amazing.
we did some maybe unholy things.
It sounds kind of like the whole crawling tour in like 2014 when they had the EKC or EKC at in Denmark, and we did that tour out to Middelfart, and fucking they had like a whole cabin and all of us fucking
Middle fart?
Yeah, that's the town where fucking I know it's that's where TK is from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking ran Zawa's underwear up the flagpole at that place. It was good.
Nice.
Let's go.
That was legendary.
Ooh,
I had to climb the pole to do it because the fucking rope broke.
Wow.
He didn't believe me.
The Swiss event I went to was in a disaffected rice factory. It was so like an abandoned rice factory.
Whoa.
It was
Interesting.
so crazy.
That's
Like,
wild.
So yeah. So we went there, and the dude was just like, yeah, so we got to set this up. And like Tim and I are like, what do you mean we? Like, and it's like, you know, these European events, these European guys are like, you know, we're on this together. Like, come over, like send it like a few 100 miles, and then we'll make you work. And I was like, all right. And so we helped like set this place up, like move. We had like some heavy machinery to move shit around, and Tim was like, yo, let me at it. And I was like, no, don't let Tim near the forklift. Like, there's no way I'm going to be in close quarters with Tim riding a forklift. Like, there's no way. I've seen this dude like fucking like drop a spatula like 50 times. You know?
Dama players and
Okay.
forklifts have a fucking bad past, Betty.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
this one may have been smaller. It wasn't capable of like fucking up a sidewalk or something. It was small.
Or
It's
lifting
like-
a full-grown Sam Cannon.
Yeah.
no, it would have done that for sure. But yeah, basically, yeah, Euro
Nice.
events. I'm expecting, honestly, a full-blown season for 2021 of Euro events.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. It's going to be as many events as there were like in 2019 for Euro Tour.
Because
That's
a lot
what
of
it's looking at.
on this side, like over like in Canada and America and shit, we have kind of like a second wave where it's like everything's kind of locking down again. Things are like almost going back to the way they were before. Like, you know, we kind of locked down and then it kind of got a little lax and things got better. And then it got worse with winter and all that shit. So you guys don't really have a second wave kind of thing.
But we do. We very much do, bud.
Yeah.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
Everyone's
yeah,
kind of getting hit by a second wave right now. I've been
That's
listening
kind of
to
what I figured, yeah.
It's consistent around the world, yeah.
right now.
Like, or like in most places, you know, like places like New Zealand or Australia, like quench this shit like fast.
Are your guys' is the Netherlands receiving vaccines for medical
yeah,
providers?
all of Europe. Yeah, all of Europe is mediating it. Like that's how we have sort of an advantage. It's like a European like union, and so the union is like distributing it like relative to the size of people per countries. So
is it getting to the public?
It's going to be rolled out in steps. It's similar to the American way. Like,
So,
you
like,
know, like
we
we
just-
have like,
Are getting vaccines like this last week, I think.
yeah. And I think the first person in France is getting vaccinated the 27th. So it's sort of consistent with the US. You know, it's going to be a global, like just wave of people getting vaccinated. And
Totally.
but what they're discovering here is that the pushback is somewhat, we've been laughing at the US, you know, for a while for having a lot of anti-vaxxers, but it's happening here as well. In Europe, there are a lot of people that are not trying to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And this was a big surprise for people like me. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. I saw a poll about that. I think for the States, how people were saying like 40% says they'll get it, 40% says they want to wait a little bit until like V2 comes out, kind of shit, you know, or to see what happens. And then there was like the 10% that just said straight up no. So it is all over the place. And I think with such a pandemic like this, it's going to stand out more. People are going to think more strongly about it as well. Just the vaccine. And if people look at how long a normal vaccine, I guess, is supposed to take, because who really knows? You're just fucking reading. No one's a professional.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there's never been such a global effort to produce a vaccine. Like, who the fuck has been like, what event has focused like humanity's like scientific field at this level? Like, what event in the past? Like, like there's been like there's already been like big viruses that have propagated, but like,
I mean, like polio, was a big push for, you know, we all get like a polio shot when you're born, right?
Yeah, dude. You guys remember Ebola? What the fuck happened to that shit?
Yeah,
right. They quenched
like
that shit, but
7 years ago or something, or maybe not even.
Yeah, or
I remember
swine flu or
years back,
SARS,
SARS,
SARS.
Well, this COVID is a variation of SARS, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's basically that, but it mutated.
So like I was talking to Austin about this today as we were driving around doing like some errands, and you know, she was mentioning how, you know, this like a vaccine has been in the process of getting like worked on, like for something in regards to like SARS like evolving. Yeah. And it, like when this like happened, it was like, okay, like let's push our energy and resources to like getting this done now.
Yeah.
It's kind of trippy to hear that, like, you know, like people are getting these vaccines, you know, rolled out right now. And like, I don't know, I'm grateful that it's happening. I'm eager to get back and like hanging out with people, dude. Like, I think we're all getting like, you know, everyone's been stir crazy a little bit, but you know, it's like, oh, like we're kind of like lax and like we're going to be able to kind of manage and like go out and everyone's wearing masks, but it's still like, it's like people are getting ravaged, you know, like it's pretty horrendous. Like, also like, you know, it's also something to take in awareness that like the wealthy countries are getting these vaccines and like poorer countries are getting them a year later or so. Like Tio?
I heard Pfizer was adapting the price of their vaccine to the country's GDP per capita.
Well,
so
thank
like,
God.
Yeah.
India is going to have a way cheaper vaccine than.
Well,
that's what they're saying at that, you know, but like Pfizer is one of like however many vaccines they're rolling out. Like there's Moderna and like whatever the
there's
fuck.
a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just heard that from Pfizer, but it's so interesting how this concentration of like scientific research happened. Like Ole, you know, Ole has a PhD, guys, in
Oh shit,
microbiology.
I didn't know that.
And his whole university and all universities in Europe and in the States, they just all like redirected their effort towards COVID. Like all research stopped for so much. Like Ole's papers, all his research just halted, set on pause. So when I went to see Ole in Hanover, I rolled up to the event, and you know, I walk into his car. I'm like, "What up, Ole? Like, what's up with all these coolers in the back?" And like, I'm seeing these coolers, and they have like spouts on them and shit. And he's like,
"These are the COVID vaccines, bro."
Yeah, no. He was like, "These are the COVID tests."
Wow.
Oh shit.
And I was like, "I got COVID on tap back here, bud."
Seriously, guaranteed one of these has got to have it.
Yeah, for sure. And so Ole for like however many months was getting tested like bi-monthly. So he's been tested like 50 times or maybe something like that. Yeah. So Ole is the man. Shout out Ole.
Hell
yeah. So he was making at the beginning, when there was a shortage of like hand sanitizer, he was making that. Like I had friends who were working in textile, they were making like fucking masks. Like, you know, everyone just redeploys. Like,
right.
So that's never happened. Like this is like new precedent being set by this pandemic. So it's like, it's normal that this vaccine got fast tracked. Like, why are people so surprised about this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a year now, so it's like,
if there ever was going to be a moment for something like this to be fast tracked, it's now, you know? Like,
totally.
So you're talking about like different companies, corporates creating things, changing it to help everyone during these times. But with the Kendama, what has been done? I can only envision maybe Find Your Wings conditioner that has like some sort of sanitizing agent in it.
So every time you touch your Kendama, you're sanitizing.
Right?
Yeah.
That'd be insane, dude.
That would be insane. Your Dama would feel so weird.
Would be good all the time. Never look about. You never have to moisten it. It's always moist.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the perpetually moist bevel.
Yo, get some sort of where is it? Someone's gonna get
Josh, get sweets on that, bud.
There you go.
Wait, sorry, I just bought Patreon and I was looking at all of this cool stuff. Literally unplugged for like 10 seconds in the last. Sorry, hit me again.
Please get the sweets team on the perpetually moist bevel.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because we were talking about
the licking bevels, buddy.
Yeah, because I was just saying how different companies and shit are helping everyone in these times where it's like, all right, you know, textilers, fashion companies, brands are making masks.
Right.
You know, when the hand sanitizer was down, all these other companies were, you know, creating more hand sanitizer. So in the Dama game, what's been happening, I was joking, conditioner, adding some sort of solution agent to help sanitize the Kendama every time. But it's like, we lick bevels. How can we stop that? I know Sulab always has a spray bottle.
Yeah.
That he's got.
There's
and
a few
I think
people have made spray bottles.
Yeah. The spray bottle idea is good. But I'm like, who can have maybe like, you know, Josh, you got the cord out Tama. I wonder if you could just take the bottom and put like some really soft, I don't know, like balsa wood that just soaks up the liquid.
So you gotta like
keep it. You don't have to spray it all the time.
Yeah, or you got to put like a layer of like thinly cut like sponge around that core, and then just like perpetually like once a day or something, you just got to dump some fucking liquid on the top and
somehow have a cork bevel.
Cork bevel. I mean, it would be destroyed so fast, but I bet you it would play gone, real nice until it was gone.
Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to play with, though.
Well, it lasted. It'd be great.
That was kind of the idea around bamboo as well, though, is because I've always liked the grip that bamboo provides. It's pretty. I don't know if porous is the word, but I mean, if you look at it, I mean, all those little like all the little things in there, you know.
Yeah, it's totally porous. It's got like a lot going on.
So,
yeah, man, this is a crazy time to be alive. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah.
On the bevel licking note, Coop made some joke at one point though. Like, there's like envelope lickers that like have like this little bit of like
tip?
like sponge tip, you know, and like he would just like have that on him, and just be like dab it around the office. Like,
dude, I remember seeing him with one of those actually. That's so.
Yeah, I think I saw on his story one time long ago. It's like, should I drop?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, or everyone just go to Staples and get it by yourself.
No, you got to get the Coop dabber.
Here's the answer: just don't lick your bevel and play like a freaking baller and freaking use your knees. I don't know, like.
I mean, you're telling me you don't lick bevel, buddy?
I lick bevel all the time.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Wait, even with the paint, does it help?
Well, I mean, the Kush like really helps too. You know,
Kush is in the bevel.
No, but I mean, Kush is like you're feeling like the paint on the spike. Okay. You know, like if you're not on the spike, like if you're on wing, like you know, I love grinding down the bevel, like. So that the first fresh paint, like I'll take fresh paint and like take it to like sandpaper or like nice concrete because like concrete. You know, I think it looks better actually, like you know that
you give her that little flat spot
then just like the fresh,
take the sharp edge off of it.
That's something that I thought after making my Dama actually though, now that I'm saying this, someone's probably gonna do it, but like to actually
That's funny because I
actually just put it back in the box.
I prefer the sharp edges to that flat kind of thing. That's like where like, you know, there was like those people were starting to use coins, whether it was the Ken hole reamer or the big ass fucking chrome coin, or like whatever. Like, I prefer to use a smaller coin just so that it fits like the size of the bevel kind of thing, and it just like kind of creates like a fresh bevel rather than like
it's like a bevel shaper.
Yeah, exactly.
New one,
yeah, I'm not trying to fucking ream it to like
bevel.
Yeah, exactly. I got no magic carpet for this bevel. I'm just fucking trying to freshen her up a bit, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I honestly go for the tech of I find some really good gravelly rock on the ground, and then I just hit the ground. Dude, you gotta get the curvatures to get like that nice, like when the wood caves in, then boom, bevel,
when it curls over.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like a nice bev, dude.
Yeah, this like let's just shout out Honed Bevel if you guys haven't seen that Instagram.
Yeah,
I think it's honed _ bevel.
Yeah.
I just grind it on crystals, dude. Like that's just what
I level. There you go.
It matches the color.
Dude, that's so
man.
grown with you.
That's the play, dude. Secret powers.
So can you expect a drop of those? Some Grove bevel shaping crystals?
Power crystals, yeah.
Man,
put
that
some
would
energy into your bevel.
That would be a whole new world.
Leave your tongue out of it. Put some energy into it.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick.
Another idea going down, dude.
And you get the crystal and make the beads out of it. So every single Dama has the crystal bead.
Ooh,
that would be sick.
I was thinking like create like a pendant, right? A crystal pendant that is so it doubles up. You know, it's a fucking accessory and functionality.
Yeah, and it just happens to fit that fucking bevel.
Yeah.
Or
right? You know, Coop had the little LED shit, you know, to light up the Dama.
Yeah.
Where's our investors?
Yeah. We have a Patreon. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah, dude, look at my screen. Look at this. Oh, congratulations. You're now part of Patreon Kendertainment.
Hey.
Thank you so much, bro.
I'm hyped, dude.
Best.
Everyone go do it. Why aren't you doing it? If you're listening to this, why are you not doing it? You could donate $1.
Get anything episodes. It's pretty sweet.
I love Kendama.
I didn't even know that like there's this whole page of like you already posted about us on this like page, you know, like if you are like listening to this, or if you are listening to this now and you didn't know this was going to happen, like you would have known like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. Like, you could give me some quick plug about the Patreon benefits. What do they receive here?
So yes. So
these dudes are so stoked because they're like, I didn't even have to bring it up. Like,
he's also he's doing it backwards. He already paid for it, and now he's asking what he gets.
Yeah,
I read the things, man. I read the things. You know,
yes. So now, guys, like, I mean, some people like ask like maybe why you turn to that. For me, as a when I was like learning graphic design in school and being like aspiring freelance illustrator, I feel like artistry is something that people kind of forget about. That is like, it takes a lot of time, a lot of work to get done. And a lot of people take it for granted, especially like all these new like applications where you can like fucking make the jazziest looking logo or like video effect that people before had to spend so much time to get done. Totally. And I think it's really important to give at least a place for people who respect that, somewhere to, you know, give back a little bit. I always like, you know, grew up in the DIY hardcore punk heavy metal scene where it was like, I felt like it was my duty not only to pay for a ticket to go to the show, but buy some merch. Not only it stokes me out, but I know that I'm putting money into the pocket of the band so they can fucking eat that night or something, or have gas to get to the next place.
Totally.
So that's why I started the Patreon, because I want people to have a place for people to support me a little bit and help me get to the next step of doing more of these things. You know, I got to pay a little bit for having the podcast up, for getting this Zoom subscription down and stuff, and all the editing software I need to get everything done. So it's a super big help. So I added a few little perks. You know, you get $1 and you get early access to episodes, full video episodes of the Dama Nerds. That's the shit that's been popping off, because I've been trying with the videos, YouTube videos for a while, but people get a lot more value out of Dama Nerds, so I'm focusing my energy on that. $5 gets you locked in questions, which I think we have a few questions for you guys. We're going to get there soon. And then jumping up, $10, you get a t-shirt. And then $15, you get the t-shirt, as well as, of course, all that stuff that happens in the lower tiers, as well as monthly Dama raffles that happen.
From Sulab, right? Or just all companies? Yeah.
Sulab.
So sick.
Because, you know, I've been trying to help Sue get his Damas out, because he always gifts me so many. That's what I've been playing all the time. So that's something I think that is, and I see so many people bitch about shipping. You know, I've done it too. Shipping is just so much to get it over. And they're like, oh, I want to get that Dama, but it's like, you know, $30 shipping. Nah. But here,
no shipping. Like,
bro, it's traveling around the world. Chill. Like,
yeah. No, you'll get it faster than your domestic packages.
Like, do you want to get it? Like,
actually, though, yeah.
Golly,
man, we were in the green room for Catch and Flow, and Cody was in there, and he said something about there was a customer who lived just down the road, and they ordered something, and it's like, well, let me get the UPS tracking on it or whatever, and it was in fucking Vegas or some shit. For no good reason.
Whoa.
but on its way. But it went to Vegas first or something. It was like, wait, what?
Sometimes it don't make sense. But yeah, I definitely hear people complaining about, fucking when price of movie tickets went up. And then other people are like, yo, do you know how many millions of dollars goes into the production of this shit? Spend like $30 on a ticket. Or just choose your movies more wisely.
Or just don't watch it. Yeah. Like,
or don't watch it. Yeah.
Wait for it to come out later. I don't know. You have so many options these days.
Yeah.
You know?
True. Yeah. But so anyways, let's talk a little bit about, film and video movies. All you guys have beautiful edits that went hand in hand with your mods when they were released. There is actually stepping back, to let everyone know, I'm sure there's a few listeners who are also like, yo, this is the COVID Pro episode. Sweet. Where's Magz?
Yep.
Yeah.
I brought that up in the chat.
Yes. Magz was announced as a Kusa Pro. We're definitely going to have him. All you listeners, don't worry. We want to get him onto like a full episode of just.
We need a full Magz dedicated podcast.
Yeah.
Shout out Magz going pro.
Yeah.
And it will.
Definitely.
It will happen.
These guys have been on an episode before, so this is, a good collective episode that we're going to have. But to go back to the videos, everyone's got a different vibe. Adrien, yours struck me as being very like super humble just from the get-go, because that first little when you almost kind of fell when you were walking through that little corridor, that was like, all right, cool.
I didn't even notice.
Try or die kind of attitude. And then it talks about, the fires that started happening. And if anyone follows Adrien, he's very vocal about the problems in the world and shit that happens. And then what? T.O.'s mod drops that whole thing, dude. Chaotic. The music, everything about it was just so European, which is awesome.
Love the music.
Yeah,
that is a flavor that maybe some people don't have access to. Me, my father's
in Kendama?
Yeah. My father's Croatian, so I've been to Croatia plenty of times. I've been to Europe. I have access to that. I see that vibe and that style pretty often, but maybe there's a bunch of people who don't. I remember, dude, like when you smashing that glass bottle at the beginning.
Yeah.
In reminiscent, I kind of thought to like riots that were happening. I think there's still a few riots in France happening, right?
Oh, always, but
fucking yeah.
It's not France if there's not a riot.
Yeah,
like, what do you mean?
So like that whole vibe into it, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if you purposely did that, but I kind of took that.
Yeah, what's that? No, I'm just trying to introduce like an edge. I was like, look, this is it. Like, I need that punk rock, like piss drunk,
yes.
like Gesaffelstein, like Baker free MJ.
Yes,
like, the Baker videos.
Yeah, totally.
Wait,
totally.
I needed to bring that back, and it's
Baker
like
3.
It reflects my love for like more intense shit. Like I love that. And when I talked to Jake, he was like, hell yeah, like I'm doing this. Like there's no way we're gonna do something different for you if you want this. So
hell yeah.
Dude, my notes on your edit was just like 1, the music, 2, the smash was like just like the beginning.
Smash.
And like both of your videos, the intro like was just like, I guess all of our videos like have like a pretty like unique intro, and like I thought that was cool. The intros have been cool.
I just got to do
yours was phenomenal. Yeah.
For editing both me and Tio's edit in like a night.
Oh,
insane.
Yeah, Jake is a beast.
Yeah.
One night?
Yeah, like Jake finished editing my edit like the morning before the premiere. Like
classic.
Yeah, for me it was about 2 hours prior.
Wow.
Something like that. Dude, wow. Jake is the master, Like,
so did you watch the premiere for the first time at the premiere? Or did you see a version?
I saw a version.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Adrien.
No, same. I saw I saw a slightly different version than the one that premiered. But then I was like, yeah, this one's better. Like, run it.
Yeah, same.
Run it.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Each one of your guys' edits all have like that different style too. It's like along with the Dama, it's like everything kind of stands out in its own way.
Yeah,
dude, like Josh, your edit was a good trip. It was just like I was like, oh, immerse me, like
Kendama Shaman.
Yeah, dude,
you killed the tricks, the Dama fire. Just
the premiere was fantastic.
The premiere was great. Like, yeah.
I was so lucky. I was at work and I had just the downtime and I was like, oh man, I really hope it falls. And it fell exactly the moment it started perfect. The video. I turned on the stream and like it started. And I was like,
Josh, can you go down? Like how did that go out? Like I like saw you went pro like hours after like this I saw it when it premiered on YouTube.
Okay.
Like hours later. And like heard it and everything.
Well, we like Sweets and Cody and myself like had a conversation like, how do we want to roll out this week? We had this conversation like Sunday or Monday morning or something. And it was like Monday, like we'll post, a picture of, I think just like me in nature or something. Or that might've been Tuesday. I got Monday and Tuesday kind of mixed up, but I was doing like a countdown kind of thing, like on my story, of just like mountains with like a number on it from like 11 or something. And we figured like Wednesday will be the drop day of the video. Dama's dropping Friday. Wednesday, let's like release this video. The edit was done Monday morning, I think. And George worked on it for 2 weeks. Like we talked on the phone every morning, 6 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. his time.
Wow.
For about an hour every morning to like kind of, and like he got me a draft every night, and we kind of like I gave him like an outline of my vision, and we talked for like an hour and a half for the first like kind of like because I was gonna have Coop do it, but then I was just like thinking about George. I was just like, dude, like I want George to do it. Like I want this to be trippy. I want this to be like George has been really delving into these like effects. Like I want to like give George the like play space for this.
Yeah.
And so we communicated a lot, and he spent a lot of time on the edit. He made the little emblem, my swirl, the turtle swirl. Like that was him as well. And so the edit process was really like a beautiful process to see like evolve as well. And I can talk about more about that if you guys have like specific questions. But the drop Wednesday was, we're going to go live on stream and just say like, I'm a special guest. Like you're going to want to tune in. So we premiered it on the stream, like 1 p.m. Central. Like it was like an hour after the stream started. And that was really cool because there was like 200 and something people, like, or 300. I don't remember the numbers. I think I took a screenshot, but there's like 200 or 300 people watching stream. So it was just like, you know, it was cool to like have that like presence. You know, it was like, if we're going to be in the sweets shop anyway, watching like all these pro premieres, there's like how many people are sitting in that room, you know? Yeah. Like it was kind of like a cool opportunity, like the chat, like going off. And so that was really fun. And then, you know, whatever you see on social media is like, it's kind of out there at that point. But then it was the premiere dropped that night on YouTube as well. And then the Dama dropped Friday. So it was a wild week. The whole week I was just like, I couldn't really think about it. I couldn't really be productive like in other work. Like, so it was really, really fun.
Out of the three of you, let's hear the highlight of your recording and then the worst part.
Of like as in like
filming that.
Filming, yeah. So like Adrien, example, like when, you know, there's the title screen that says Adrien Esteban, I think pro, and you're like in that, you're by the ocean, water's coming at your feet, and like right as it hits you, like the music drops. And then the trick doesn't get finished because it's like, whoa, did he just get slammed with the water? Like,
oh, dude, it was so funny. Like, I remember I was not intending to get wet that day, and
you got wet.
Like you can't tell from like that angle, but like I'm like standing on this part of the walk, like of like the sand, and then it dips down like immensely behind me. So my whole backside was just doused. But it made for a really sick opening shot. So
super sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's funny how like not intending to get wet is a great way to get wet.
Yeah. I like with the whole filming though, the worst part was just trying to find a time for me to meet up with Adrien to do it. That was like the biggest thing, because like the whole Bay Area was like, especially in like California, was like the first place like really shut down. And then Adrien was based in Sacramento, like the capital of the state. So it was also just trying to find the right timing where we both felt comfortable enough to like meet up and like just like mob for a few days.
All right.
But the best part was I was honestly just hyped that like I landed so many tricks in the amount of time we did. Like usually like tricks kind of just like come in the moment for me or something like that. But the thought of like, I have to film today because like this, the only thing we're waiting on is the video. And I'm like, suddenly this like big pressure of like waiting, like this kind of lull. And then suddenly like the time is now. And then like feeling like I got hit with a bus of like, I gotta finish. I gotta like,
yeah.
And then just being able to finish. And that like, we got our, the last trick we filmed was actually the, like, one of the first tricks in the edit, where I do this like, it's called a Brent stole, the triangle thing I do, but I catch it around the spike and do that like base cut pause. So like I'm holding the triangle and like the Ken is in place on my hand, and I do this thing where the triangle pops out and I tension the Ken like straight into the spike. And when I walked off from that trick, I was like, the edit's done. Like, and that was just like the most hype moment. Just I don't know.
Your tricks were insane, dude. Your tricks were insane. Like I just rewatched it, you know, an hour ago before we got on this or whatever. And I was just like, dude, like it's just like kind of in awe, you know. It's just like, man, I could I could break this down and study it. If I could learn a whole new repertoire here if I wanted to. Like,
thank you so much on that. Like, I honestly, because of that edit, I felt like I dried out all my ideas for the like. I've been kind of like a phenomenal role because I'm like, I kind of just like burnt out like all this.
I felt that way too.
And now I'm just like, I tried to film and I'm just like, oh, dude, it's like just too hard right now. Like,
there's something, it's definitely, there's a lull for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise.
All right, so let's go.
I had a few,
T.O., all right, high point, low point,
best and worst
recording,
low point was sort of the same as Adrien. It's just like finding, like, I only had 2 days with Harold in Amsterdam, Harold Hart, who's filmed a bunch of videos with Grain Theory, and then the rest of the time it was me and a younger homie, Loda, who doesn't have much experience filming, and I'm the same. I sort of felt like I had a lot of shortcomings, so I sort of not feeling too confident about like my ability to film. And then which I feel I'm overcoming like a lot recently, so that's sick. I got a new camera right after that project was done and everything, so I'm like way more stoked on all of this. And then the high parts were both days with Harold in Amsterdam, where it was like Harold had literally not seen anyone else for like 4 months. He hadn't seen his girlfriend, or he had only seen his girlfriend in the past 4 months. So I was the first person he had contact with. Really.
Wow.
Dude,
so,
I feel you on that one.
So like, that energy was nuts. Like he came up to me, he was like, yo, we're gonna do this. And like he brought up some beers and he was like, yeah, we're gonna get a little bit faded for this,
a little in the mood.
This filming. Yeah, that's why there's all that smashing and shit.
I love that scene.
So honestly, like it seemed like you guys were the perfect pair to go do that project. Like,
we had so much fun doing that. Like,
so
shout out Harold. Like, he's the fucking dude. Like, he's such a fucking monster. And then just getting to film with Harold was the best. And then like just mobbing around Amsterdam. Like, we found that big ass mason jar next to a boat, like someone was giving away stuff, and we saw the mason jar, and like, you know, our sort of like tipsy selves were like, yo, we gotta get that mason jar and smash it. And then like I chipped the fuck out of my kendama though. Like, do not smash do not smash a kendama in a mason jar. Like, that shit is gonna fucking blow up. Like, I still play that tama and it has glass in it. Like, that tama definitely. Like, I'm definitely still playing that tama with glass in it, and it's sketch. Like,
that thing blew up. That mason jar, like, wasn't just like shattered.
It was an impact.
We were theorizing. We were like, is it gonna break? Because that glass is like this thick, you know. It's not like, like maybe like a centimeter thick, which is like 0.75 inches, whatever the fuck.
Did you sweep it up afterwards, or did you guys just?
We were in a really sketch part of town. I'm not going to
So it was fine.
It was
fine.
Seen worse things.
we did it for the culture, you know. Like,
fair enough.
Man, it'd be really funny if like you're talking about how the glass was really thick. I don't know if you guys, it's ever happened to you guys. You have something that's really thick fucking glass and it like hits the ground and it bounces.
Yeah,
that would have been a great fucking shot. You just go for the big smash and it just like boom.
No, dude, I hucked that thing. Like, that thing was launched.
That was raw motion right there.
That's true. I just had the vision in my head and I was just giggling to myself. I thought I'd share.
But the wall wasn't flat, you know, it had little ridges in it. So it hit a ridge. And then like I slow-moed it and watched it. That thing like just fucking like
turned into dust, dude.
Disintegrated.
Yeah. So it was sick. It looks so sick. Like,
I bet it's still sick on the ground at the bottom of that wall.
No, I went back and it's all gone.
I still think it's like the hardest intro to any kendama edit I've ever seen.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I loved it, dude.
The most over the top dramatic, like
I mean,
it might be up there. Like,
I gotta just bring up, if you're gonna bring up intros and shit, fucking Kenderson, Kendama is a gang shit. Like that's
Oh yeah,
pretty rowdy.
Kenderson.
okay,
two,
I take it
number
back.
two, yeah.
Two.
It's like that's like
I take it back. That shit is so much harder. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say like, I don't want to take away from that because that
homies.
was like hard as fuck.
No,
But
no.
the
Dude,
Kenderson thing
like
is
fucking
just
Jake
like,
Easton just like flip like ballad song flipping in the tunnel while like all this shit's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that might
yeah.
have to be the
We
homework
can't
for
take that
today's
away.
episode.
yes,
Like,
that's some good
PG
homework for you
shit,
nerds
though.
for sure.
Yeah,
Check out Kendama is
That's
a
some
gang
PG
number 2
stuff, yeah.
of the Kendersons.
shout out, they might have a Dama still in stock. Hit them
Oh
up.
yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
This is the
Yeah.
plug episode. We're plugging all the homies.
And that was
Yeah,
wild
we
when I saw
are.
those Damas get made. I was like, dang, I was like, that's sick. That
Yeah.
was sick to see them.
It's pretty sick.
All right, Josh, let's roll over to you. High, low
High.
of your recording process.
I think my low was like I started filming in July on the Sweets Mob trick, and like I got, let's see, my ender is the one trick that I got with Cooper that I was like stoked on. I filmed like another trick I filmed a couple tricks, but they all ended up just getting put in the mob edit because they like weren't like at the level that I wanted for my edit. So I have a couple of tricks in the mob edit that I'm like stoked on.
Let's go.
Dude, I'm hyped for that.
Yeah.
But the low is kind of like, and we shot the like levitating scene too with Cooper, which was super fun. But the low is kind of like after that trip, I felt like I was kind of also in like a lull. You know, something that's, if I would have saved all the tricks that I would have, you know, have posted on Instagram for like an edit, it would have just been insane, you know, like of like, you know, but like the Instagram culture has been a while of just like posting these like NBSDs like nonstop every day. You can see a trick that's just blowing people's minds, like, you know. And
yeah,
so
to try to interject just a bit, I felt like, because I watched everyone's videos and Magz as well, and I felt his was like that. His was like almost like nonstop until you get to the end when it turns into like a photo album. But it was just like back to back bangers. But I do enjoy the feeling that you three dudes' episodes are
the B-roll and the fucking
yeah. It was a different vibe, but it was good. Sorry to jump in, Josh.
No, you're totally good. Please, like whenever, like please, anyone jump in. But I felt like I was kind of like, I literally went into my Instagram and dug through like 2-3 years of Instagram posts of myself and like being like, what inspires me that like I can expand on, that like I haven't really done more of, you know. And like I did a lot of my tricks in my edit were like from Instagram tricks that like I pulled, you know, like Rod, I did one that you Dama dared me to do when we were at Sweets' house. It was like the bird, Tama toss at the spike.
Oh yeah.
Catch
a bird.
Over Valley is the one that I did with Sweets.
Yeah.
And I laced it. It was like a 4th of July. I don't know when it was, but and I was just like, well, I'd never done it bird to bird. So like, well, let's film bird to bird. Like,
I remember you fucking DM'd me that trick. You were like, yo, Rod, I got to hit you up and like, just show you this one I'm working on an edit and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, fuck yeah. I was so hyped.
Yeah.
I got lucky, dude. Like,
dude, same.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite trick in your edit. But it's hard to say, but I think that's my
hell yeah. I love that trick. And like, we had been driving all day. We got like totally just like turn around of where we wanted to go. And we just didn't know where we wanted to go. We got to this campsite like on the river, like right as sun was setting. And like I filmed for 5 minutes and I hit that in like 5 minutes.
That's epic.
And so that was like, that felt really good. But that was like, I guess like my low is just like, I felt like I wasn't in like a super creative space. I kind of had to refilter some ideas, but that I got into a swing of things. And I think like the high point for me was like traveling with Austin. Just like, we got to travel a lot because it was just us in the van, like in nature, like, you know, and like we would just go national park after national park. And like, I was doing all my work like remotely. So like, I was like, we had a hotspot, shout out little hotspot here, and just like, you know, working in the forest, like making sure that we had service where we needed to, when we needed to, and then just like filming nonstop. And I think the high was just going to all these beautiful spots, and like super big shout out to her for like filming some of these shots with me, and she's like, after this edit, I'm never filming you again. Like,
She now understands what goes into it.
But then she did film me, and I was just like, see, like, I'm gonna, like, that's why I have a tripod, you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to go through that. Like, we all know, like, sometimes tricks take a lot longer than we want, and we don't want to put anyone that does not want to put their energy into it behind
Totally.
that.
Well, how did she feel about the little doubles coordinated thing that you guys had going on? Did that take you a long time, or was that?
We had worked on that like the previous month. We started like working on some of those ideas, and we were at the hot springs, and I was like, yo, like, you know, this is like the last week of filming. I think that was one of the last things that I filmed in general. Went through 2 batteries on the camera. We were dead, and we were like out. So I didn't have any electricity, and like we had 3 drone batteries that I had killed 2 of them doing like drone B-roll that I had like captured, and I had 1 battery left. So I like had the drone just floating there. Like,
oh no, it's drone.
Yeah.
No way.
That was a drone camera that captured that, and it was like really beautiful and really fun. And we've done a few like double like dance tricks. Like, she's really big into dancing, and that's like inspired me to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable, like dancing and like not caring with like feeling like weird or awkward, and kind of exploring just like movement in general.
Yeah.
Totally.
And she's like stoked on Dama. Like, she picks up Dama all the time and like sessions Dama. She's working on Tunbridge right now. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's super sick. You know, like that's her goal right now is Tunbridge. And
good goal.
So like doing flow with her was just really fun, and that trick was super sick. And
how many times did you miss the spike after the bounce off the stub?
A lot. That stub was like, it was soggy in some parts of the wood and like more dense in others. And like I was slamming the shit out of that Tama. Like, you gotta, like, if anyone ever tries like a stump trick, it's so fun, dude. Like, grab a stump, like, or find a stump and do like a moon circle into a Tama slap onto the stump and like juggle the spike, you know, or like even just like bounce it off the stump into a spike. It's super fun. It's not easy though, so it took a while for that trick for sure. But that's highs and lows in a nutshell. There's some extras in there.
Nice. All right, nerds. I think it's time to roll over to the Patreon. We got some questions from awesome supporters over there asking you dudes about what life is like becoming a pro in these times of COVID. First one up, Thomas Ishikawa says, for Tio and Adrien, what was the design process like? Was it designed before COVID hit? What were some last-minute modifications you made to the shape before finalizing the mod? And there's one for you, Josh, too. But first, let's hit up that one. Maybe we touched upon a lot of this stuff.
I think I could answer like one thing I didn't go over.
Yeah.
You know how I said after prototyping, I had to do more stuff with mine? So serratos were just blowing out because there was grooves up in here. Like every time you did the drill, and we just had to fine tune like the right width you had,
the right thickness,
and then like fine tuning like the setup to drill it, make sure it's like extra careful, like like you have to like just a bunch of things they figured out, and now it's honed as fuck. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it was again created already when COVID was a thing, right? What'd you guys say?
Oh yeah, it was
April.
No, February.
Oh, was it February? Oh, okay.
Like just before, right?
This trip was actually just before things like
got nutty. Yeah.
We actually, I remember during the trip we talked about it, like just briefly, just like oh yeah, that virus, huh? And then
I wonder what's gonna happen. Yeah,
little did you know it'd be the last like hangout sesh for a while, hey?
oh yeah, it was.
Damn.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because we covered the design process. That was good. That was just some last minute modifications. All right, Tio, how about you? Was there anything we talked about the design process? Anything that last minute modifications that you had?
Basically the whole thing.
No shit.
Yeah, like, I mean, I did not go into it as prepared as Adrien, I don't think. I had like global ideas, like components from different kendamas I liked that I wanted to introduce, and like sort of a skeleton I'd like mind mapped of like the older GT shapes, but then like I got there and then everything materialized like way quicker.
Yeah.
Like, or it had to, you know, I didn't have a choice, but like, yeah, like for real, it wasn't that planned. It was just like sort of a spur of the moment type beat, like just
kind of like finding a mason jar on the side of the
yeah, exactly. Like just
like a light
build,
introduction.
Yes,
I remember
build shit.
Yeah,
go
I
for
don't
it.
know if you remember, but it was like the first day of that trip, and we just brought all the Damas that we wanted to take pieces of. And then after like 10 minutes, we did not need them. Like,
yeah, it's exactly that. I brought kendamas like halfway across the world for like 10 minutes of just thinking about it.
Well, dude, I mean, you travel across the world to compete for 90 seconds. I mean, what?
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't even take that long.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah,
sometimes
this was way more important.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Let's go over to Josh's question again from Thomas. How many prototypes did it take you to design, to get to the design that you were looking for on your pro mod? Probably up there as the prettiest Dama design.
Well, thanks, Thomas. I love it too. Fun fact, Bob Ross and I share the same birthday. Shout out Bob Ross.
Oh man, and almost the same facial hair, huh?
I don't have a fro, you know, and it's not red, but so like I mentioned kind of earlier, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I got the first batch of 6, played with that for a while, and then I wish I had one to show you. I gave my box of Damas is down in Southern Oregon right now in my grandma's barn. I need to bring them up. But I went to like change. I wanted a little bit more teal, but I actually kind of like the way the teal is at this point. I wanted a little bit more teal in the fade. And I was looking to have like the sky, like a little bit more of a darker purple. And they sent back this like dark blue, like sky. And the water line had like come down to like almost where the teal is, like right here. That's like where the water line really started, and the trees were right there. The trees were like long and like skinny looking, and like there was like
stretched it out.
Yeah, and like I was just like, okay, that's like definitely not what I want. Like I actually like I like the colors. Like this is kind of got like a Patagonia like color vibe,
I totally
and like
so, yeah.
And like I was like, let's just go with number 1, because at this point it's going to take another like month and a half to get me another Dama in my hand. So
yeah. So how many prototypes overall?
I guess 2.
Nice.
2 physical.
Yeah. Good shit. All right, let's move on over. Yeah. Oh man, Adrien asks, Tio, Josh, Adrien, the pandemic has affected everyone in different ways, and in some cases, downright changed the way we interact with the things we seemingly take for granted in our daily lives. What are 3 of the most difficult changes you guys had to adjust to during this time? 3 most difficult changes.
I can start with 1. Should we do just 1 each or 3 each? 3 each sounds hard.
Yeah, like I know I for sure just have like one big one.
Let's go 1, 1, 1. And then
I'll have. Okay, I'll start. For me, it was just not traveling, because I had been traveling so much. I counted this up with Tim. I've been to maybe like 45 Kendama events in the past 3 years, something like that. So just because of that, so that was for me the biggest change. Like my life like revolved around my travels like so much, even if it's a really small travel, like a car trip to Germany or something. So it was like that was my biggest like thing to overcome, was just being just stagnating a little bit at home, feeling a bit
totally.
Like, that was my biggest change.
I feel that.
Yeah, I'd say like mine's basic, like mine revolves around the same thing. Like other like pre-COVID, like my type of like work life and all this stuff, I was already kind of like stay at home. Like all that stuff, like it kind of stayed the same. But like my main things are like what I look for towards the year was like my travels, like Kendama events. Like 2019, I fucking went everywhere for like I think one of the first times And then I was like, oh my God. Like, and the year before it was like, or before years coming, it was like, I was like, it was my first, it was only like domestic trips all over the US. And then 2019 was like first time out of the country, like twice. And I'm just like, oh man, like both like the friends I see, the people, the experiences, like all of that like amounts to like how I play kendama, how like I like react to things like socially, and then having like a big absence of that, like what Tio said about like seeing Harold, and Harold said it was the first time he saw people in like 4 months. Me recording with Adrien was the first time seeing anyone other than my roommate in like the same amount of time. And oh yeah, that's just been like a bit like just learning to like deal with that and communicating with more friends, just like online, like way more than I ever used to, because now I'm just like, man, this is the only thing I got.
Totally.
Yeah, I think like it's been interesting because it's been like the biggest challenge, but it's also turned into such a cool thing. At least like for me, the fact of not being able to go into schools and like be doing school tours. February, I was doing a teacher training with some of the KenYC dudes on Long Island and in New York, and we reached over like 2,500 kids in 2 weeks doing programming like every single day, and was like a huge, like beautiful experience. And like I miss being able to like go into schools and do school demos and do like in-person programming, and that's been like really hard to not be able to do. And with that being said, like we really just like pivoted, and Shane Donahue, he's been like my right-hand guy with Kendama Institute for programming. And we started doing online programming with this gym in New York for like youth programming. And we were doing classes, like paid programming, like twice a week. And we started redesigning our programming for virtual Zoom classes. And I kind of like literally like just went all Zoom world. Like it just like gave the opportunity to really like dive into Zoom and like start like finding a way to adapt and like make sure that this whole year wasn't just going to go to shit. And like, you know, like Chica at the Gunzo store, like huge shout out to her, because like, you know, she was one of the first like spaces that like ever curated like a kendama event like for me when I was living in San Diego, like years back. But she reached out to Gabe at Sweets, and then Gabe told me to talk to her, and I talked to her, and she was like, yo, we had to cancel our event. Like, you know, can you like help us do something to like supplement this? And was like, well, like, and we hadn't done this yet. We hadn't done a virtual jam yet. And I was like, well, like I would love to. And like, I think it'd be even more hype. Like if I hit up Jake Weens and like see if he'd be down to do it too. And so we did. And like, we created We Jam.
Yeah.
Like, and like We Jam was bird, like, you know, and like we did like 3 or something We Jams, but like, that was like something that came out of this adversity, you know, and like that's been a big part of our philosophy, like within Kendama Institute as well, is just like transforming failure into opportunities for growth, transforming adversity into opportunities for growth. And like it was a really, as tragic as that this whole thing has been, it's been a really beautiful way to see like how we can adapt. Like if you really want to do it, like you can adapt and make something out of it. And it's created opportunities for us to offer PE programming and in-school programming virtually. And like I've built a repertoire now of doing that. So it's been a trip, dude. It's been a fucking trip, to say the least. To get projected onto a smartboard in a classroom and like be teaching Dama while I stand in my room while all the kids are like 6 feet away from each other wearing masks, playing Dama, dude. And like I got a timer up to the screen, like 90 seconds on the clock. Here we go. We're doing Moshi Kame, 90 seconds, you know, 3, 2, 1, go. Like they write their goals of how many they want to get done in 90 seconds, like check in, like write down what they got. We do like a reflection about it, go on to like a cup based exercise, and then go on to a spike based exercise. Like we play exercises and mini games, and, you know, now they're learning follow and games of Ken and, you know, doing spike offs. And like the kids are just like, it's been crazy to see them not be able to do big cup. And now everyone is like lacing big cup spikes, like starting to hit around the world. It's like Moshi Kame is like getting way better. Like it's been a trip. So this year's been crazy.
Yeah. Man, fuck. There's exactly like you're saying. There's the good parts and bad parts. I think the whole world is trying to figure out a way around this, and in the end, like it's totally going to be different when this whole thing subsides and goes down, and everything's going to be done differently. Hopefully, we all don't have to commute however many hours to your job just to fucking like talk on the phone. Where it's like you could totally do it online now with all these new programs.
It's definitely proved that we can, and like. Yeah. Companies are selling their office spaces, like
yes, they're downsizing in that way, and it makes sense. I know here in Japan, I don't know like it is in the States, but here it's like it's super common to pay for your employees' transportation fee. So it's like if you don't have to pay for that, how much money are you saving? Now, how much are you saving because instead of renting this office space that houses 50 people, you're gonna bring it down to like 25. Shit.
Shout out, Grandma, real quick. Grandma's calling, but
Grandma's on the call. Okay.
Sorry, Grandma.
Dama came off the telephone, the pole.
You forgot your kendama at my house.
Oh yeah, she's like, those.
What is this box?
That box you left here.
It's firewood, right?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yo, guys, Josh.
Yeah.
Before we move on to another question, I'm sorry, MJ and Rod, but I have a quick segue to do. I went on the review with Adam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I've been, since we did that one event back in March, I've been waiting to get on the Nerds to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're here now.
Okay.
Yes. And I just realized we should take this quick segue to talk about it. Because if we don't, I'm going to regret it.
Yeah.
Well, get it out, bud. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I was there during that review. Watch that shit live. What is it?
So this was inspired through, I think, was it a Wii Jam that inspired this conversation? And then Tio was like, yo, I want to do like an invitational or something along the lines of that.
It was the first Wii Jam. I attended, and then you guys threw it. And then I hit you up immediately after.
Yeah. And we like had a meeting and like we schemed some ideas. Maybe your idea or your memory is like more fresh on like maybe the exact conversation. So
you've done a lot of stuff in the meantime. I'm just little old Tio.
No, dude,
I got my schemes. No. I'm taking it this way because it's true. I probably do have like a fresher version of it. I schemed on it this way. I talked to you, and then we talked about a format, and then we talked about like realistic expectations regarding such an event, and then you gave me like a rundown of Zoom the way you saw it, and I immediately looked out to like if we're gonna get these 30. So basically, it was an underground Kendama Open. Like we threw an underground like Kendama like event on Zoom before any of these big like online events that Sweets, Gloken, etc. have
not this one
mastered. Not that one, but it was the original invitational Zoom.
Oh, this is the first
Open. Yeah. So that was in May. So I think it was in March.
I think we did it in March, and like it was an underground pro invitational. We like created our list. Like Tio was like, yo, I'm going to get some hero homies in here. We like wrote down our names. I was like, okay, I'm going to invite these people. Tio, you invite these people. And like those like 30 hours or 36, 48 hours, like we're like, you have to like say you're in like 24 hours or no. Like, and like we got a long list of like immediate like responses being like, I'm in, like I'm so in. Like everyone was just like, let's do it.
Everyone
like
was so down.
Like so hyped, It felt
had
crazy.
Two or three people couldn't because of just logistics. But yeah, it was fucking insane how that response was so immediate.
It was quick.
And so like so crazy. And so we catered like a few messages. Like it was really like just like kind of not half-assed because we knew what we were doing, but it was like really like quickly thrown together. And so we sent these messages out to these people. I copy pasted it like 16 times. Do you have these original messages? Is this what you're looking up?
I still have it.
We all do. Yeah, here it is. Underground Kendama Tournament. Invite only. You are officially invited. $100 prize Sunday, 12 p.m. PST. Event will take place on Zoom. Reply in or not for the follow-up message. Response deadline Thursday. So that's what happened. And if you put in, I had a follow-up messages saying like, you need to. All right, okay, we have a follow-up.
I just like wait, hold on. I'm trying to like.
All right,
oh, come on,
read
please.
that.
No, this is just the list. Oh, you want the follow-up message?
Yeah, you read the follow-up message and then the list, because then you guys are gonna freak out. Like
the
this list
roster
is fucked
wild.
up.
You're grown. I don't know if I have.
It wasn't even essentially. It wasn't even the most proficient players, maybe. Who the fuck knows? But it was like the homies. It was the fucking homies. Like that's how I thought about it. I was like, I need the homies. I need like a group where the dynamic is going to be like constructive and it's going to move along and everyone's going to have fun no matter who they're paired up with. And it was basically like, let's get all these homies together and just fucking hang out. And there was no like publicity. There was no fucking stress of like, oh, we're being live streamed. None of that shit. It was like fucking no holds bar event.
So were you emceeing, hosting it as well?
So it was Tio and I like created the Zoom room. We invited everyone, like got everything like figured out, and like we organized it all, right? And like we got everyone in the room. Like then like once everyone populated, it's just chaos. You know, it's like one of the first times we're doing an event. We're doing a Kendama tournament. This is like the first Kendama tournament on Zoom.
Yeah.
You know, like March 26th, or we're like the end of March, and like I kind of lay out the idea. Like everyone had been given the trick list. It's going to be random number generator to pick the tricks. The pros like are going to get put into rooms, so it's going to be like the bracket was made on challenge so that we could figure that out. They'd get put into a breakout room, and then they would have to figure out who goes first themselves and run the random number generation and the trick selection themselves. They're pros; they can regulate themselves. We don't have to worry about that.
Okay,
Adrien?
just say one quick thing about the tricks.
Yeah.
Didn't we all film the tricks? Like one of we
Oh!
submitted a trick.
Oh, that I gotta find this. Yeah, everyone submitted one
That's
trick.
the follow-up messages.
I gotta find this. I gotta find it, dude. I gotta
So
like
those
I have it with somebody.
tricks that you asked everyone to record turned into the list.
I had everyone submit one trick. So there are 32 tricks in this open. They maybe had like, I don't know how many hours to train it. Maybe one weekend, something like that. Like from the Thursday to the Saturday.
Real quick turnaround.
So that was cool as well. Like that kind of format, like people don't have much time to train for the tricks. Like that's sick. And so everyone submitted tricks. You know what? When this comes out, I will make that trick list public because I have it on my YouTube. So that trick list will be made public.
That is exciting, dude.
Nice. Yeah.
This list, this idea was like, okay, what kind of tricks we do? Like, do we make the tricks? Like, because we competed as well, or did we not?
Yeah, of course we competed.
Yeah.
And 32 people, right?
Yeah.
And those $100. Do you want to tell them, Josh, where those $100 came from?
Me and you both threw down $50.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a company that threw down $50. It was straight up just Josh and I were just like, if we're gonna do this, let's just send some fucking money into this. And
so it was like really organic and like cool, and like the fact that Tio hit me up about it was like beautiful. Like I can't find the message right now. Like I have like this first message for some reason. But I have the list of people. Like we have Stod, Bonds, or I don't know. Some of these names did not compete, but this is the original list. Like most of them, I would say like 97, 96% were in. Like Stod, Bonds, Chris June, Wyatt, Ole, Tim, Maceo. Is that how you say his name? I was Maico, BKO.
Oh,
Maiko.
Sorry,
He
Maiko.
did not compete.
Albert. We got Irk. We got Weens. Weens, I don't think competed.
Yeah, he competed.
Did he?
Pretty sure.
Adrien, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Adrien, Damon, George, Marshall, Frazier, Sweets, me, Tio, Jacob Lowell, Ben Harold, Alex Royce, Kevin DeSoto, Chad Covington, Lyndon Whalen, Kelvin Wong, Mastek, Marcus, Austin Donovan, Fish, Bish, Alpha, Mitch, and Rod were on the invite list.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a stacked list, and I don't even remember who won.
I don't either. I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I'm also gonna put the challenge bracket up somewhere because there is the craziest fucking challenge bracket. So it was first place was Nick Gallagher. Second place was D Westy.
That's why
I think I got third place.
Did you really? I know you went far. I remember now. You went far.
I got third place.
That's insane.
I don't even remember because I got out and I was just fat chilling in the chat room with all the homies. Like, hell yeah.
That's what I remember too. I think I was out first round and just like, yeah, fuck it. Let's chill. What's up?
Yeah,
it was so sick.
I was hyped. Like, I think because like quarantine really like started and we were just like, dude, I miss you guys. Like that's
it was such a great.
Yeah, that was like we had just entered quarantine. Like we were maybe like 3 weeks in, you know, a month in. So that underground Kendama tournament, that was a thing.
Yeah, we're absolutely due for another one of those.
And maybe that's something that's happening. I've talked to some people.
Yeah, there's maybe
made a few calls. Good shit. All right, so then there you go. There's just only good things that have, not only good things, but some major good things that have come out of this tragic event, pandemic.
It just shows how, like, you know, willing Kendama players are to just make it work. Like, they're resilient folks, dude. I feel like we are all resilient folks.
Yeah.
We are not willing to take no for an answer.
Dude, if you've gone past the first hurdle of just spiking, if you haven't given up at that point already, like, that's a Kendama play. We're not known for giving up.
Yeah,
Never
we wouldn't still be here if we gave up. All right, dudes. I don't have too much time left. I got to tend to the family. Fucking the sun is blasting my face right now through my window, as you see. We're gonna rattle these questions off and then call it quits. But here we go. We got 2 more. Bish, always a huge supporter. Thank you so much. She says, she says, what about Magz? ! We'll get him on.
We talked about Magz. Sorry, Magz.
But she says, congrats. How was the filming process during COVID? Were you able to travel to film?
I kind of talk about that. I was traveling like in the forest. Like I was pretty isolated.
Right.
Me in the trees.
I think Josh, yours is the only edit that didn't have you in a mask. I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm just saying, like, you know, get like B-roll and shit, you know, like sometimes.
You were out in the forest, like away from.
That was the big intention. That was a big intention about my edit was I didn't really want any city elements at all in my edit. And like I love graffiti, I love art and like the architecture of cities, and I will be, you know, having future clips in like such spaces. But this edit was, and like this Dama is like dedicated to nature. Like Dama for me was like something that I love to do like outside, something I love to like go find a beautiful spot to like play Kendama at, you know. And then it turned into like I want to film an epic Kendama trick in this beautiful spot, you know, and like create a moment here, and like bring an idea to life here. And so I wasn't in a mask in any of my spots because there's literally no one around. It was beautiful. I loved it. I loved the process.
I don't know about you, Adrien, but Jake definitely, like, one of his, like, and not even instructions, but like sort of tips was like, you need to, maybe it'd be a cool thing to have like this historical component to it, like this like situational moment where you're like recording that this was filmed during COVID.
Right. So
he wanted me to sort of pinpoint that. So there was that mass shot, and then
I see
there's like this small frame in the edit. I don't know if you guys can find it, where I'm like kneeling next to this big graffiti where it says "Fight the Virus," and it's like really sick.
Oh yeah!
Oh wow!
Me just like,
damn, I didn't even realize that.
I don't remember
fist up or something. Yeah. So that's a little nugget in there. Or I have a bunch more B-roll about that. But like, so Jake wanted me to like introduce that component.
Wow.
Like, that has to be.
That's interesting because like Jake actually didn't mention anything like that to me. but similar to Josh, like I was out in the forest most of the time. Like if for my edit, this is all within a 10-mile radius of where I live, like a 15-minute drive max to get to any of the spots. So I'm like, it's just like, mine's very much like my home of Santa Cruz. But it was also like, if anytime I was like in the public, it was always like mask on, like no question, like not even going through my mind.
Very much.
Yeah.
And I've been in the same boat. I mean, obviously we had to stop at convenience stores and grocery stores, and we've been wearing like N95 masks, like, you know, that's just kind of like been my own like comfort level, like especially recently with it being so like rampant, like here, like in Oregon too, like, you know, the masks, like I'm just grateful. Like people are wearing masks, like walking in the street, like everyone's like wearing their mask. It's like, I'm grateful for that, you know, but it was just like that N95, like for me, it's like a little extra comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the last one from Nick Dodenhoff. He says, I bought all 3 of your mods, so one question for all 3 of you. How would each of you compare your online releases to the almost traditional way of event releases?
I'd say, at least for me, I've been to many in-person premieres. Crazy hype. I love the energy. And
Totally.
like, but knowing like the situation of everything, like I'm hyped that like we did the premieres the way we did. We still got the homies we could, and like that's really what made it for me. Like I had a homie that screen recorded the whole thing, and he said the whole time your face is just like this.
Like, big smile.
And it's just like
disbelief.
like and it's like now my memories of the times are like instead of like the in-person event memory, like there's still a shared memory of that event with everyone that still means so much.
Yeah. I like still remember like where I was like, I did the stream like in my mom's backyard. I was like in my mom's backyard using her Wi-Fi. And, you know, what's interesting is like with technology, like we've been able to like create a virtual experience. Like at least I was like, I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of that like virtual experience that we created of like using Twitch and like using Zoom inside of Twitch to like interact with the chat and be able to like virtually answer questions and talk with people and premiere the video. Even with like doing YouTube premieres, like you have the YouTube chat going off, you know, and like you have Zoom on the side with everyone hanging out in the green room now. Like, you know, it's cool, man. Like, and like, I'm glad that 2020 is like effed as like the situation is, like we've been able to still like congregate and like share energy. So it's been cool. Like I don't like regret anything about it. You know, I don't wish it was like in person or anything. Like I never had that thought.
It was sort of same beat for me. I was in Corsica, a small island in like southern France, like in the Mediterranean, in my like grandma's like village from where she was born, like with some sketchy hotspots set up, you know, on the balcony, like on the 3rd floor, the only place where there's internet. It was so sketch, so scary. But yeah, like I had 2 premieres on Zoom actually. First one was with just the Euro homies, and they were actually at an event. They were at an event in Germany, so I had like one premiere with the Euro homies, because originally it was supposed to be at EKC, so only Euro homies would have bought the mod almost. So that's what I wanted. I didn't want them to go up on the site and like, all love to you Americans, you know, but like European at heart. So I wanted the European homies to get those Kendamas ASAP. And so, and getting those Kendamas out to those EU guys was so sick.
I'm just laughing so hard because like this for a while now, I've noticed since you moved that you're the only one that's in Europe, but you have an American flag behind you and you're talking. It's just very funny. I can't help it.
You're always looking. The grass is greener on the other side, you know?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like I'd only been to the US a handful of times. So going there was really special. So I needed that in my room.
But you are European,
Somewhat.
But you also have a American passport, right?
Yeah. I have 3 passports, but
yeah, exactly.
2 European ones, 1 American one. But like, yeah, the the American one is definitely the one I'd burn first. You know, like, not gonna lie to you guys. Like there was a moment where I thought I would have to choose guys. Like there was a moment where the dude in the office wanted to make me choose.
Oh shit!
I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
It was sort of, yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's gone. Like,
I'm surprised it's still there. Yeah.
This dude. Like, yeah. Now, I think back at it. It's funny as fuck. I have this in my room. Like,
yeah. It's been intense in the U.S., man, but I look forward to being able to go to Europe, dude. I've never been to Europe.
Yeah, you guys are all like forced to come. Like, I'm not fucking around.
Well,
here.
thank you for forcing me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I will be there, buddy. I promise you.
I want to crash on your couch.
Like, come out, bud.
I'll sleep on the floor, man.
Yeah, I have enough space for all of you. Like, come out.
Hell yeah.
Like, for real. MJ too, you know. Like, MJ who's muted, but
yeah, he's in dad mode.
He's in super dad mode.
We would need like multiple tickets, multiple sleeping bags. It'd be intense.
I got you, bud. I got you. you. Did you say you would be intense? Yeah, I think intense.
Oh, like
definitely tense.
Yeah, camping out, you know, like,
factor.
Hell yeah. Man. Well, this has been a pretty good episode, honestly, getting everybody together and everything and talking about this crazy fucking year that we've all been living through. And at least we've had some good stuff come out of it. And it's cool to like we were saying, like be able to come together and create a virtual space and like just at least like see each other's faces, hear each other's voices, you know, and like get a little bit. It's of course not a full dose of the full Dama squad, but it's what we got right now. So we're all in this shit together, dealing with all this shit. And yeah, I guess I'm just trying to say thanks for coming in here and talking with us and everything. And it's just nice to see your guys' faces as always.
No, thank you, dude.
Thanks for having us. Dude, it's hype. I like.
Hell yeah. And yeah, shout out to everybody who gave us questions on the Patreon. And,
yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, go become a Patreon. Go. Yeah. Go.
Including these three now.
If you could buy our mods, you could spend $1 on the Patreon.
Ooh,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, for real. You can't buy my Kendama without being subscribed to the Patreon. That's the new thing.
You
can't buy our Damas. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to Patreon.
Okay. Tio, MJ, Rod, and Adrien, you have the chance to win this right now.
Oh, are we doing this?
We're doing this.
A quick little
snap.
Here we go.
Flow Grove
Just
mini game.
Super easy. Between 0 and 100, I want you to take a guess. The person that is closest to the number will go first. Let's see. The way we're going to do this is you're going to write it in the chat. Write your number in the chat. Try not to look at other people's numbers. Just pick your number and just commit to it. Whoever's closest wins the Dama. The number was 69.
Oh, of course it was.
So, Tio, send me your address. I'm sending you a Kush Grove mod.
Oh.
Yo. You already know.
Let's go.
Dude, Grove. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up, but Grove already promised me one. So, you know. Do you remember this, Joshua Flo Grove? Do you remember this moment?
This is why it's
when
destiny.
I called you.
This is why it's destiny.
I think it was.
This is just destiny. So I got to send you two now? I got to send you two?
No, just this one. It's destiny. Thank you so much, Josh.
I'll send you this one and a used one. All right.
Hell yeah.
Dude, the used one, like that's Dama Hall of Fame right there. Like some Josh Sweat in my vicinity, like that's like good luck for life.
Hell yeah.
I'm
glad we got that figured out. You didn't forget. We got the Flow Grove mini game in.
How'd they do it real quick?
It's good. Hell yeah. I appreciated it. And yeah, I guess, you know, that was the COVID episode. So I guess.
Episode 4-4.
Episode 4-4.
Thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks guys again for joining.
Much love.
Thank you everyone for supporting.
And yeah, on that note, I guess the nerds are out.
Out.
Oh.
44.